5.
Station 5, Mugen, pin. Station 5, Mugen and pin on Station 5.
All right, so looks like we're getting back into it. And I was right. Looks like we're going straight into Ike, probably straight into Robin. No reason to, no reason to play around with Crom here. Although it would be funny. Up each other, see whose armor wins out.
Yeah, dude.
It's like just meeting them. It's like the Falcon Ditto where you have to taunt, or at the beginning of it. Like if you play the Ike Ditto or the Crom Ditto, you just have to up B each other, like center stage first thing. All right, so jumping right into the game here. Kind of the traditional zoner versus sortie matchup you expect, just trying to pressure with your projectile and trying not to get run over once they get in. But so far, Tope doing a good job of just keeping iGreg in disadvantage here. Has got him at the ledge.
I've actually known, fun fact, I was the person who originally drove Tope. This was with Orca, when Orca was around. Orca and Tope lived in the same building and they played Smash a lot together. I've known Tope ever since he came into the scene. And something that I will always respect him is he has immaculate spacing. I've just never seen, not to say that I've never seen, but at this very level, it's probably his biggest strong suit. I mean, we're watching him do a lot of the back airs. I mean, he's hitting them like just exactly where he wants to. That is actually something that
is unfortunate, is what that is. The iGreg drop in the book. It's going to knock him out of his up B and going to lead into a kill for iGreg there. But yeah, sorry to interrupt. Just
no, absolutely.
That was a beautiful stop that happened from the most unfortunate circumstances.
When these types of things happen, I mean, interrupt me because they are worth it. I definitely am a little curious. I don't see Toby do it as much as he did when he originally was first around, but he definitely doesn't do the up B ledge camping.
I was wondering if iGreg was dead there because he definitely burned his book on his last time on stage. But Tope going too low, trading with Robin up B there is going to actually put it 3 stocks to 1. Yeah, so iGreg with the ledge trap right now, though, and just content to just let him come back. Not going to try to force anything in the corner. Going to get dash attacked anyways.
Dash attack. So we're sitting at 2-1. It was interesting because it was even for quite some time, and then all of a sudden what ended up happening was just an exchange from iGreg ended up just allowing him to steal the lead. And this is one of those situations where I know a lot of people it's the stereotypical thing to end up saying it, but I'm going to say this is a very momentum-based matchup, and that's not for the traditional reason that iGreg is playing more hot. Not to say that he's not, but iGreg can then set up his wall and force Tope to approach in ways that he really didn't want to. Because at the stage that we're at right now, iGreg has no reason to want to approach. He will safely throw his projectiles from the other side, and it's just for Tope to play basically a bullet hell and figure out how he's going to get in.
Yeah, that's the benefit of taking the first stock, is just being able to put them in that situation where they have to be the one to make the approach and just being able to respond to it. Right now, though, Tope does have iGreg here at the ledge. He's going to get cross-up rolled and going to get behind him. His dash attack, I did not know that was a kill move.
When you're at 160, anything kills.
I suppose so. All right, so iGreg winning game 1 here.
Pretty handily. Let's see what Tope, Tope definitely is really good at adapting. We might end up seeing the Crom swap because I don't think one of the issues that he was seeing here, he's actually going to stick with Ike.
Yeah, that's not a I got bodied, I need to swap. That's I got one unfortunate interaction on the first stock and then I just got spaced out.
No, for sure. I can definitely agree to that. But what I was going to make a comment is I definitely think the movement that you would get from Crom would definitely be very assistful, very helpful.
Yeah, speed is definitely king against Robin. And that's one thing I was talking about while we were waiting for the stream to come back is I think Arcfire is good. I just think it's laggy. Like, when I play this matchup, I'm just able to run in pretty well. All right, I got to go.
Adios. I'll be holding it down for just a little bit. It's all good. Getting a raw back here. Going to be seeing iGreg take the lead again, but just a quick exchange and Tope's back at it. Tope trying to seal it out. I mean, this is now seeing a little bit of reverse. But that's exactly what Tope wanted when he originally started. He wanted to get that up B, get that type of confirm. The kill is very early and very fast. Hitting the Nair into back air. Now it's iGreg's turn to play on the back foot and being forced to approach while Tope just kind of throws his large sword and, whenever he's approaching. Here he is going for that up B situation again. The Nair to up air, not going to work. Taking a stock. One of the biggest things about Ike, this was patched, forever ago, is you just cannot play with his up B out of shield option. It's so good, it has armor, and it kills. Especially on a stage like this where you can elevate your opponent onto a platform. It just does everything. iGreg going to be taking a stock. Now let's see if he can just gain back just a little bit of the momentum that he needs. He put on 43. Seeing him shield like that has me a little bit nervous about where his mindset is. It just means that, the way that I view that is that he wasn't really confident in getting that Arc Thunder out. Gonna be canceling out the Arc Fire with F Smash. I don't think that's what iGreg intended. He definitely knew his range. That was a reverse of what I was mentioning. He was very confident that he could just neutral get up and not be hit there. Very strange that Tope didn't space out the F Smash at minimum cover ledge. Not really sure what was going on there. We're here playing Smash, and I'm sure he was just a misspacing. Taking the book, launching at him. Was trying to go for a 2-frame down smash. Unfortunately, not going to be getting it. He now has lost Arc Thunder. I do not know his recharge times. He now has Thunder back. It seems about 15 to 30 seconds. Not bad. Back there should be. Nope. Ike, a heavy ladder on top of some good DI.
Zombie and Ojama, Station 2. Zombie and Ojama on Station 2.
The Thunder, I don't even know which one that is, if I'm being honest. Just going to be shield poking or Tope not expecting it and going to be shield dropping. Going for 50. iGreg taking some very nice sets. I mean, he just ended up doing a side B to down B. Trying to go for the Arc Thunder, Arc Fire ladder, but instead getting reversed, getting hit by the Nair to up air, the day one. Tope taking game 2. As crazy as it might sound, I think Classic might know what he's talking about. He definitely knew that Tope had a little bit more in him when it came to this matchup. It wasn't just as cut as dry as what ended up having the first one. I think the adjustments we saw from iGreg were actually fantastic, but I think the thing that we really need that he needs to do is get better at Thunder Confirm. Had he gotten that fire ladder into up air, we would have, be game 2 and done. The double roll. Just trying to do what he can to keep him out. Getting hit through the up B, taking 14 to 21. iGreg definitely playing a lot more zoner this time, spamming Thunder, just trying to throw out a projectile that causes Tope to respect something and not approaching the way that he wants. Arc Thunder to nothing, unfortunately. He's going to charge that for the last bit. Whenever he ends up throwing out that Arc Thunder, it's going to be good goodbye to that book for just about 30 seconds. Nair, double Nair, so good. And we are seeing what we saw in game 1, essentially. iGreg just walling out Tope, forcing him decisions that he really just didn't want to be making. Trying to go for the 2-frame, gets it. Seeing a very different game 1 and game 2 to game 3. Game 1, I mean, iGreg, took the first stock, very dominant. I guess we might be seeing a little bit of what you saw game 1. Unfortunately, I don't think Tope was expecting that just to get L Thundered into F Smash. That was something that iGreg just hasn't done with that type of confidence. Just trying to apply the shield pressure, trying to get a double arc fire going on. Tope getting a little flustered, making plays that I don't see him traditionally. Just walking into moves that he really shouldn't be, have no business getting hit by. Seeing a little bit of squalling back and forth. Up special, not going to be killing, not on the right side. Has L, but he actually just managed to live, sending coast to coast. Just isn't going to be enough. Like a strong boy, not that strong. Tope just lacking to get the kill. He's not picking many hard committing options. Wanting to keep it safe, that should be the stock right there. We got 70-0. What can Tope make out of this? Quick draw. The Arc Thunder pressure. Getting the tick throw. Double arc fire. Trying to go for the neutral get up read. It's definitely some good confidence from Tope. He's definitely showing still signs of life. Definitely would have made me just doing a neutral get up. I probably would have waited for it to all go away. That's why I'm here commentating. Tope is up here in winner's round 4. There. Trying to force Tope, but he's just patient. Taking a back air. iGreg taking it over Tope 2-1. Tope making some very immaculate adaptations through all of it. I mean, from what we saw in Game 2 to what we saw here, he definitely wasn't shaken. He just definitely got caught off by it a little bit. iGreg just, you know, at the end of the day, you adapt to the adaptation. iGreg just ended up taking it out over, though. Is it going to be Jazzo staying up coming?
Stain and Jazzo. Stain and Jazzo to the stream.
Trying to see if I can't find a set count between these two. And unfortunately, having a generic name such as Stain makes it very difficult.
Jazzo wins a lot.
I definitely know that Jazzo wins quite often, and not surprised with the type of playstyle that Stain has. And Jazzo, I mean, Jazzo is an absolute wall. He will just sit in neutral and throw fireballs until you do a jumping approach where he'll just do an up tilt to shore you and just kill you at, what, like 60? And the fact of the matter that he's playing Falcon and stuff like that, the awkward body weight and size that Ryu or Ken and them have just makes it so hard for him to combo. While it's on the reverse, I mean, we see Vendetta over Captain Falcon, which honestly, this is, for lack of better words, this really is Vendetta Jr. and Fatality Jr. up here. No, Jazzo wouldn't really appreciate that type of comment. I mean, Jazzo is coming onto his own. We've been seeing a lot of beef with the Vendetta situation going on, and Jazzo just not happy that he's being left out of this conversation. So I definitely want to see Jazzo make a statement tonight. Hopefully he ends up taking it today and can go on and get on Twitter and get on the Georgia versus EU beef train. Unable to find a set count, but it's all good. Again, just as I mentioned, Jazzo just holding shield, I know that he just 824 for it, but I mean, that's really nothing in the grand scheme of things when he ends up returning with a VP 48. Classic coming back on Mike.
Yeah, I have returned.
We saw Greg take it over Tope 2-1.
Yeah, so like I said, no reason to switch off Ike. He was able to keep the set close. All right, so Stain versus Jazzo. Jazzo with the lead right here. I think as far as set record goes, I think it's heavily Jazzo favored.
Absolutely. I mean, I kind of made a little comment earlier that this is essentially Vendetta Jr. versus Fatality Jr. And when we see those matches played out here, I mean, Vendetta has been more taking it over Fatality, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so Vendetta actually was able to, like, the last season, both him and Fatality were going out to events a lot more commonly. He was actually able to, like, bring their set record for the season either to even or his favor after starting really rough. So he was slowly figuring out the Falcon matchup, but Stain got to answer right back with that stock right there.
I gotta say, the one thing that keeps Stain always competitive, I mean, his punish game is just insane. I've played against him, and it's just a monster. You let one little opening, and he'll turn 0 to 40, and then you reset, and then he'll make 40 into a stock.
Yeah, like, combo characters definitely, doesn't really, the percent never really matters to them heavily. It's always just like, well, is it stock's even? Oh, it's an even game. Like, as long as you're able to get that one hit, especially characters explosive as Falcon, that they're even prone to take stocks really early. So this, and Stain actually with the lead right now, but we're about to see a Ken combo, just proving my point that combo characters do not care about percent leads. So this is possibly kill percent, but the miss tech actually going to keep him alive from that knee.
The only percent that they really care about is what their opponent is at, so they know what's combo to throw out.
Yeah.
And that up tilt check, not going to be taking it. Almost
I'll be honest
there.
with you, I know almost nothing about Ken and Ryu, so I'm not going to be able to call out like what moves he's using for the special inputs. But up smash not quite going to do it, and going to parry Stain's S smash right there, so good call out on his timing.
Down to Shoryu finally sitting it out. Jazzo here at 92.
Yeah, so Stain going really low trying to get that edge guard, but Jazzo just going to be able to get back to center stage here. So, I was listening to who he called because, yeah, that's the person that I lost to. And I'm salty. But all right. So far, though, Jazzo building up plenty of extra credit here, actually almost with a complete lap, and this might be enough. Yeah, so platform extension on the up air. Going to get him high enough in the air. It's going to kill it.
Stain going for a really greedy, up smash. I know that move's got him buffed so much that honestly, it's pretty ridiculous at where it stands right now. But
I mean,
kind of crazy.
I understand it though, because that was one thing when I'd asked like Fatality about for. Sorry, that was awkward.
No, sorry, you
I was like, what are you doing?
I don't know. You have this weird like fuzzball on your face. Sorry about that.
Don't touch my face, man.
I apologize.
All right. Something Fatality had said was, God, I lost my train of thought. Don't like stand still against Falcon because they're going to be looking for like those landing down airs for combo starters. Kind of need to just keep moving. And like Jazzo, he plays very patient. He'll play in shield when he needs to, but he's not like getting antsy and like trying to swing when Stain's looking for those options. So he's still able to get his punish. But
Jazzo's very disciplined. I actually talked with Vendetta, and he was, one of the things that we needed to talk about was, I'm not really seeing Jazzo do what Vendetta had mentioned. One of the things that Jazzo does a lot is do a lot of resets, essentially. He'll go for an up tilt and wait for you to do a panic option and punish you off of that, and that's his true combo. And we've seen him, he did it against Zamba, and he ended up taking the set against him. So definitely, something that he is very familiar in doing with. But I think that he may have, spoken with Vendetta, took the advice, and I'm not seeing that here.
And not quite going to be able to make it back on this stock. So two stocks, both 0%. And saying this might be how Stain just planning on playing it. Looking for that. He's not really going to find the up smash off that platform, but just not really wanting to like contest Ken, trying to make Jazzo come more to him, which, I mean, 6%'s a lead. I don't think we're going to see a timeout in this matchup, but I don't know, man. We might. This is so funny.
They're just not wanting to interact.
Well,
or
it's
more
like,
so accurately, Jazzo doesn't want to, give up anything. It's just that master of patience.
yeah, I mean, they're both playing just like, Stain's playing really evasive right now, but I just meant he was even giving up like good punish opportunities just to jump away because either he wasn't confident in them or didn't react, but we're still pretty much an even game even after all the just platform camping, just that knee almost enough to just change that, but Jazzo gonna get back to stage and looking for another knee. That was a good parry.
I think Jazzo's being really greedy with the ledge play that he's doing. The main reason why I feel like he's doing that is because of how early Choryu was going to kill on this stage with a much shorter platform. Canceling his focus. I don't know if that was intentional or if he got hit again or what happened there.
Regardless, down B, Falcon kick going to take the stock for Stain, and that was I mean, this is Falcon on Yoshi's. He's fine, but really suspect air dodge off stage right there. But I am kind of questioning the choice to bring Ken here because we kind of see what his game plan is now where he's trying to camp him on the platforms. But this is also a really good stage for Ken just because lower ceiling, Shoryu kills, but like Stain's proving that he's better at the stage and should give it to him, and that's going to be it. So 2 stock coming out of Stain, going to bring the set to 1-1.
All I'll say is this, is that he broke the curse. Typically we end up seeing all games played on PS2, bringing it to Yoshi's. I just, recognize that. We're curious about where we'll be going to Game 3. I think when we end up seeing people, stop picking PS2, it's more about a whole, they really want to further the matchup of what's going on and what's being played here. While PS2 is probably one of the, most neutral heavy stages, knowing what you can and can't abuse on the other stages and stuff like that, I mean, it's just about taking that extra little bit of inch that you can and making everything you can out of it. And we ended up seeing, as you mentioned, Stain just ended up taking that one.
Yeah, so like for the people that just want to run it back to PS2 all the time, I do it in some sets. Some sets I counter pick. It's just it's a neutral stage, but there are just some characters that do better, and you don't want to play certain matchups on that stage. So in those cases, just counter pick. Like that's your, I'm not gonna say your reward, but that's the handicap from losing the previous game. But all right, so either way, so far Jazzo just kind of poking here at Stain, but Stain getting a little bit of a combo while I was talking. Yeah, they're just both playing really slow. I think they're both respecting each other heavily because they know what's going to happen when they get hit. It's going to be up air, up air, up air, weak knee instead of strong knee, but you know exactly what Jazzo was afraid was going to happen.
No, absolutely. Such a short end leg for what is such a beefy move.
Another carry on the knee here. Not going to take it here yet, though. I mean, Falcon's pretty beefy. He can survive at 95 after the hit. At least grounded, right?
Yeah, dude, he's quite a chunky boy.
So far, though, percent's still fairly even. This is a percent where both players are probably going to start looking for a kill.
This is, honestly probably where I just love Smash the most. This is just, pretty much just raw neutral, and they're trying to see about what little things that they can do to each other. I think that, choices that they're making are very interesting. He ends up, sacrificing a lot, trying to go for a hard call out with that. Just not paying out for him, unfortunately.
Regardless, though, Jazzo taking that first stock off the Shoryu there, racking up 73% on Stain so far. Is this going to be no, I was going to say, it's really stale. I don't care how much rage you have. He was at 70, sir. He's not
probably
Fox.
doing the full connection, possibly, but just going to be kind of kicking him out.
Is that strong? Like I said, I'm not really sure about Shadows. Was that strong F-tilt?
No, that I believe is strong neutral.
Wow. Shows how much I know. But regardless, Jazzo making really ambitious plays off stage here. He's definitely playing with the lead, and he's definitely just trying to end this early and
taking a 3-stock. I think one of the biggest things about Stain's weakness is that he just lacks patience, and that's just one of the unfortunate things. Whenever I see Stain get upset by anybody, which is like randoms and stuff like that, I remember when, Dog Biscuit was around and some others, it's just so hard for him to, not lose his patience. That's the biggest thing that he has, his gripe with his game, is that he feels like his owners are too heavily rewarded, and I do think that's a common sentiment shared among many players, but I mean, we've been playing this game, however long, and we're not getting, in theory, no more patches. So we just got to make it about what it is and just holding it down better. The neutral game that he ended up throwing out, it's like every time that he ended up losing something, it's because he threw something very drastic out. He lost the first stock and basically lost the momentum and handed it to Jazzo when he did that Falcon kick.
Which, I mean, I understand why he went for it, though, because it's a burst mix-up that is going to kill. Because Jazzo being over 100% himself. But, like, sometimes you do have to take risks like that. With how safe they were playing neutral, I'm somewhat surprised that he was willing to make that risk. But regardless, right now we are ignoring our sponsorship where we need to talk about Double Down.
Yep.
New super major coming to Las Vegas. I think it was Platinum tier.
Yep, I believe so, July 8th and 10th. It's actually taken, I believe, where Evo was supposed to be, conveniently enough for Gimmer in the VGBC quad. You know, if you don't know the story, the OG crew ended up leaving in the March, so they ended up just reorganizing and moving the day to where Evo was going to be. So while we may not have Evo at Smash, I mean, we're going to have Double Down, and hopefully it's as hype, you know, with Royal Flush and stuff like that in the past. I'm sure it'll be another great event.
Makes me wonder how close the venue's going to be to like the Evo venue, because we might have players from Evo like registering for the Smash tournament as well. And I don't know if it's the exact same weekend, but regardless, we have Smash coming to Vegas in the summer. Please attend. Just spend all your money. All right, jumping into Mugen and Joe here. So,
Joe, do you know much about Joe? Because he's been a very interesting player that's been on the come up. You know, Emery kid who ended up, you know, kind of just popping up out of nowhere, really, and just really making everything that he can count with the ages.
I think he's from another state, and he went to Emory for school is why he popped up out of nowhere. But regardless, a really solid player. Has a set win on Mugen. I don't know what their actual head-to-head is, but so far, pretty even game. Just you're going to get comboed by Mithra. You're going to probably be behind until you start winning some neutral. But as soon as I say he's behind, he immediately gets the lead back and is pressuring Joe here in the corner. Weak spot back here, not going to be enough to kill him though. Side B is though. So Mugen already taking the stock lead here. And like as long as Joe stays Mithra, 100%, not necessarily a percentage where Mugen's going to be too afraid, but going for an ambitious up B right there. Just racking up whatever damage he can, knowing Mithra's recovery is very linear. You just got to keep going for that. He's learning the matchup.
Is that it? Oh,
right.
wow, I was never going to say he was the Nets player. It is 5-2 in Mugen's favor. Joe being number 10 PR, I do not believe that Mugen is technically PR, if I'm not mistaken.
No, he is. Mugen is number 3?
4.
Okay, so it's DD, Teaser. I thought Mugen was 3. I thought Omega was 4. Okay. Regardless, top 5 in Georgia right now. We do have a couple inactives, but that's no reason to sleep on Mugen. Got 9th at Glitch. I think it was Glitch,
Very
yeah.
respectable. I was there, you know, cheering on the lad. Very happy to see how far he ended up going.
Yeah, but right now, though, 100% on Joe here on their second stock. Mugen's still holding on to his first one. But here comes the Pyra, so just a simple sneeze is going to be enough to take Mugen's stock the next time he gets hit. And barely avoiding a back air, just perfect spacing.
You saw that little spark there. Just no hesitation from Mugen. I think this is just a experience type situation. I don't know, I'm not going to speak to Joe, but it seemingly he's playing a little bit nervous. He's getting a little flustered and frustrated. Mugen just holding it down, knowing that regardless of what ends up happening here, I mean, the fact of the matter that his one stock was 2 of Joe's, I mean, you have to be feeling good when you're in this situation right now.
Yeah, so Mugen, pretty solid lead right here, 2 stocks. Joe finally taking his first stock off with that, what was it, an F-tilt or forward air? Sorry. But regardless, definitely, like we said, it was 5-2 in Mugen's favor, so he's had plenty of time playing against Joe to kind of learn his habits, learn the matchup, and it is showing right here. Joe maybe not quite ready to take on Mugen today, because I don't know if they've been here the past couple weeks, but yeah, Mugen still just been on that grind, coming off of the like good placement and Glitch. I'm sure like just been riding that momentum just a little bit. Yeah, 60% already. You know this. You know the meme. This is the Roy side B kills at 60 at the ledge.
Yep.
Especially with Rage coming off of Mugen. But
switching back to Mithra, I mean, I think one of the things that I want Joe to start, you know, thinking about is the fact of the matter that he just needs to start building up solid hits and just being a little bit more confident about what's occurring. I think the biggest issue is that he keeps trying to pick the middle option. Mugen knows this, and therefore just ends up not really doing much. It's kind of like the opposite of what, the Stain matches that we just saw, where Stain ends up overcommitting at random spots, but the fact of the matter that Joe doesn't ends up really exposing a weakness to him. We see this with things like with Tweak as well. Now obviously Tweak is more a high-level player, but when we come down to this situation, it's just about Joe needing to be confident about landing his hits when he needs to push these extensions and stuff like that. We've seen him miss some back airs and stuff, up smashes and whatever it is that he's trying to throw out to just finish off the stock, but he's always just coming up short and never ever getting a solid stealing hit.
So far, though, Joe is able to bring Mugen to his last stock here, and Mythra definitely a character that is able to just kind of string you off stage and find an early stock. So we're going to see what Joe tries to look for here, because everybody knows, like, last stock, one person at 0, one person last hit, they're looking for cheese. But Mugen with the stage control right now, weak fair, not quite going to do it, but should be able to get the punish on the regrab. Actually not punishing either one, but down smash could take it this time for him. So Mugen going up game 1.
I do believe that was the regab, so he just,
I mean, he grabbed ledge 3 times.
And he just threw the side B, knowing that he's completely defenseless. There is no, countermeasure that could have been done there. He just kind of sealed his own fate with that one.
Yeah, so that is one thing that Pyro mains can do sometimes, or this Aegis mains, where they end up looking for the just really strong get-off-me tool, and if the person's ready for it, they just get heavily punished. But regardless, we're running back to PS2 for game 2 right here. Just starting the same way as before. I mean, it's 2 fast characters that hit a lot in neutral. So just.
This is always, just those little small grabs. I definitely wish Joe had just taken a little bit of a moment, because I'm kind of wondering what's going through his head. While he did manage to bring Mugen back down to his last stock, it was more so Mugen, like what my opinion was that Mugen was more so just throwing out F tails and stuff like that, and kind of took a lazy stock, if I'm being honest. And this isn't to say anything about Joe. It's just like, what are you taking from this and what ended up happening? Because that last stock was definitely not one of the more sincere stocks we saw in the first game.
I mean, if we're being honest, though, like, I would never call a Roy F tilt a lazy stock, because that move is beefy.
I mean, he did it 4 times in a row. It hit him 4 times in a row. I mean, I guess at the end of the day, he is the one up there. I'm the one here. It just comes down to, you just see this man just kind of throw out a sword, and you're just kind of like, cool.
Yeah, but right now, though, Mugen trying to get the comeback here after going down first stock, and Foresight going to get him out of that forward smash from Mugen, but he's not really getting a punish off of it, though. Yeah, Joe just kind of content to wait for Mugen to swing here, try to get a bigger punish, but you don't want to let Roy swing for too long, because that's when you end up off stage like that, and you're going to even nair to lose the stock.
You try to I-frame through the, the nair, but just it being a more long-lasting hitting move,
2 hits.
Yep.
You're going to eat that second hit.
And that's the one that matters, that's the one that kills.
Yeah, so Mugen kind of bringing this back. He's got Joe off stage without a resource, but Pyro up B going to be enough to get him back to ledge. But we're right back in the other corner, though. Looking for the ledge trump, but not going to get him. He's going to actually end up off stage himself. That was a funny interaction. All right, so
taking it there.
Looking for the aggressive side B in the corner, but he's going to eat Pyro's version of that move.
Yep, just a raw F smash.
Yep, it's going to put Joe up in here in game 2, but this is still percent where Roy's already ready to kill, and you are now landing against Roy with free fall, but Joe somehow able to get down and get the shield out before Mugen's able to punish. Weak back here's going to hit him off stage, but
Go throw for the forward throw.
and
Nothing off of it.
just going to up B back to ledge here, and up air going to be enough to take it.
He was trying to call out his, auto shield jump, which is it's a very easy habit to fall into, just because a frame 3 squad just makes jumping out of shield so rewarding. But when you just end up throwing that out, even though he still ended up sealing it out with the jump because he ended up falling into his up air, it's definitely some good discipline that he didn't, panic into that and just fall into it.
And he did eventually get hit by the up air, but he definitely didn't let himself just get conditioned to go straight into it. Mugen just throwing out 4 fairs before he finally was able to find the up air. Got it to connect, and looking for the tech in, but Joe just choosing roll out, thinking Mugen's not going to expect it, but back air is going to throw him off stage without a jump. And that down tilt's going to do
that
it.
is going to be it.
So
he basically just said, push off, it's my turn to go to winner semis. And it's going to be another game. It's going to be 6-2 for Mugen Joe.
Just like poked him and said, my stage. So Mugen winning 2-0.
It's my turn on the stage, Mom. Or Mom said it. Messed up the joke, but hey.
All right, so it looks like we're having Kalen come and
So it's going to be
Omega.
a Joker Ditto.
We know how much these two love playing each other in the Ditto. I say sarcastically. Right, so next event we have coming up here, Georgia, that's, well, not the next event, but Tipped Off is making its return to Georgia. It's going to be over in Marietta, I'm sorry, Kennesaw, at KSU, June 11th to 12th.
It's Marietta.
Oh, Marietta, Kennesaw, like,
I don't know why it says Kennesaw.
okay. So yeah,
It's
I mean,
addressed in Marietta.
yeah, the address is Marietta. But regardless, we're going to have a Smash Ultimate and Melee Regional here at Tipped Off, trying to make it, turn it into a silver tier, or super silver tier. Just make it as big as we can. Generally, like, a lot of the states around us have more regionals than Georgia does. We're trying to fix that. So please come out.
Hey, man, I do enjoy when we go to North Carolina and stuff like that. I love our Tennessee brothers and Alabama and stuff like that. Definitely those states, you know, we're very fortunate. They drive to our weeklies, but we drive to their regionals.
Yeah, well, they drive to our weeklies because we don't give them any better opportunities. So trying to give them better opportunity. We had Cards Basement, like, I think it was last month, maybe January.
Keep it real.
Keep It Real. Keep It Real's coming up in April. So any Southeast players around, hey, keep an eye out for that.
And college.
What?
And college. If you want your college team.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be a collegiate event.
We already have South Carolina. We already have like 10 players.
Yeah, already 10 players from South Carolina. They're going to be doing collegiate crew battles as a side event. So, I mean, I'm just saying, come out.
Is this at Tipped Off or Keep It Real?
This is Keep It Real.
Gotcha, gotcha. It's very exciting.
Yeah, but here we are with the Joker Ditto, starting on PS2, to be expected. Now, I've made jokes before, like, who wins the Ditto, but the real question is it very common that, like, people will change the stage in a Ditto matchup? Because I know, like, play styles can vary for some people, and that might be enough to dictate a change of stage, but... Or do you think we're just going to see PS2 this whole time?
Nah, it's going to be 3 games PS2. That's what I'm going to call it right now. I think we're going to see Omega take it, Kalen adapt, and then Omega just take a very strong game 3. I'm going to call it right here.
Yeah, so I'm not entirely sure what the set record between these two are. I know I've seen Omega losing in the head-to-head for quite some time, but that was maybe ancient history based on the way Omega just closed out that stock, saying don't be bringing up my old sets. But all right, so far though, Omega in the corner going to get up attack to get back to center stage and just poking at Kalen here. Omega's actually kind of running all over him right now. But Kalen's going to be able to get him back into the corner, going to eat the last hit in air, but Arsene coming out to maybe help close the stock. Let's see, Aegon or?
Aha.
Yeah, Aha. Not quite able to get the edge guard there, but the Nair's going to reset the situation back at the other side of the stage.
I really like Iha, just as a move. I like how, you know, it has this very strange moving projectile, the angle that it covers and stuff like that.
Oh, all right. I was really afraid he was going to, he got the gun gimp, but it was just enough to give Omega Arsene, but not quite enough to bring him back to stage.
Tried regardless.
But yeah, I feel like even after the nerfs, I still, like when I play Joker, I spam side B, I'm not going to lie.
But it's just the way that that move pops up, and it leaves you in a strange amount of hit stun. It's very deceptive.
And after the lag nerfs that it received, it's not necessarily like a move that he's going to be able to capitalize off of at low percent. It's not suddenly a combo move, but still sending your opponent high up into the air, especially with the Arsene version and just being able to follow him with some of those meaty hitboxes, definitely still gives, and the F-tilt actually going to take it.
Kalen getting punished for kind of approach with a greedy option. I think
Yeah.
Kalen was trying to go for a nair into, you know, a potential grab and had that connected, or just trying to ask Omega to respect him. But Omega just decided not to and ended up turning out for the best for him.
Yeah, so Omega definitely running away with this. I'm sure my like head-to-head data is very outdated. That was back around when Kalen first started like coming to tournaments offline, where he was originally like just a Wi-Fi fiend. but making PR his first season here, so definitely no slouch. But right now, though, sorry, I can't talk. Omega's making him look like a slouch. Just going for the 2-stock right here. We got 2 Arsens on screen. Omega's lived longer, but yeah, so just getting a grab out of the drag down. Not quite at the percent where he could find a kill here.
I feel like Omega's Arsene lasting longer is a pretty big statement, especially since he had his a little bit, beforehand. It was a couple of seconds, but, in this type of game where those seconds matter, and the fact of the matter that, he got Kalen to spawn, beat him on so much that caused his meter to drain, and that he lost his first. I mean, that's a pretty big deal.
I mean, it is, but regardless, Kalen's still able to close out that stock off the drag down up air, though, so bringing it to last stock. This is not a character that you want to ever fight in a last stock situation, so might be able to clutch it out, but Omega gonna get the ledge trunk. And Kalen just giving us the signal, run it back.
So let's see my prediction. Omega took game 1. Let's see if Kalen can run it back.
Yeah, you are right as far as the Arsene meter thing goes, because the matchup I had to play it in is Fox Joker, and it is very much I either run away for 25 seconds or 22 seconds, or I look for jabs, pummels out of grab, laser, just anything to lower that meter so I don't have to deal with it as long, but without contesting. All right, so back on PS2 and both players dropping from the platform with gun.
But somebody hit, somebody didn't.
Yeah, so and Kalen actually getting an early lead here, not super good, huge, but 51%. And yeah, a lot more gun.
Omega won game 1.
Yeah, a lot more gunplay from Kalen in this game 2 right here.
I mean, the gun cancels that they end up doing is really, some fancy footwork stuff.
But right now we have our double Arsene out again. Omega's coming out just a couple seconds earlier, but this should be actually interesting to see throughout the set how this goes. Who's Arsene? Who gets more use out of Arsene? And we're gonna go ahead and say it's already Omega. Beautiful back air out of him. Just knowing the Arsene up B has only just a little bit of invulnerability at the start, so going to be able to just punish him without being able to be contested from that lack of a hitbox.
I think the thing that I'm noticing a little bit here is it really comes down to the thing that I mentioned a little bit beforehand. I mentioned that Kalen lacked a little bit of confidence about some of the decisions that he was making in his previous game. And here we're seeing basically the result of Omega being a lot more confident and being sure about what type of hits that he's grabbing. He's just making every little hit that he gets counts to the fullest. Not to say that Kalen, isn't making, big hits and stuff like that, but I feel like when we see it ends up happening, the very minimum, Omega's a lot more slippery than Kalen. Kalen's struggling to kind of keep up with a lot of the pressures that he's throwing out, and that's why we're ending up seeing a whole stock deficit where, potentially Omega might get his second Arsene on his first stock.
Yeah, but the confidence thing might be a result of, I do believe these two played recently, or earlier this week. So I think they played Monday, so that might be why, because I know Omega was able to take it there, and Kalen might just not be feeling it after that, or trying to adapt it. A little bit of gun shenanigans off stage. Both players just able to recover normally, but Omega going for that low back air again. And dash attack, wow.
Might be taking it out, just kicking him out.
I mean, I sound surprised when stuff kills, I don't play Fox, but I'm not used to it killing other people that early. Regardless, Omega up 2 stocks to 1 here. Already lapped him in percent, but this is still, this percent doesn't matter for Joker. One hit and we're both at 40. But Kalen getting Arsene here.
And that's, again, talking about the meter situation. The fact that they were both dead, they had Arsene about the same percent, and Omega actually forces out Kalen's first. And so it's really on Kalen to make the most.
The last time they both had Arsene out, Omega just killed him, so. But Kalen looking to repeat the situation Omega had on him earlier, but not quite able to get the edge guard, and that's going to be Arsene gone, but able to just tether back safely.
Throwing out.
Yeah, Omega just covering the recovery as best as they can.
Absolutely.
Trying to get Kalen to stay on stage, not come out there and contest it, but let's see what the punish is. Surprised he didn't go for down gun there. Kalen definitely well below the stage. Might have been able to get the gimp. There's going to be the drag down fair into F smash. Sorry, Mike might have peeked a little bit there.
Hey, you're fine.
Right, so
I actually lost my train of thought.
Well, your prediction was wrong. Omega cleaned house.
Hey, man. It is what it is.
It happens. Regardless, Kalen still has loser's bracket where we know that they're going to make a run. Don't have to worry too much about that. That was winner's quarters, so they're already guaranteed 9th. Hang on 1 second.
Yeah. Try to get that tangle. Am I doing it? Am I making it worse?
You guys take station 6. Jazo on pivot on station 6.
I think I got it. Did I just make it worse?
What's up?
I am trying to get this cable untangled. When you stood up, you almost like yanked the headset.
Oh.
Is that it? No.
Yeah, where did Gus go? Where's Gus?
There we go.
All right, we're back. So, Greg. God, I already forgot. Chunky, okay. The Wii Fit from Carolinas? Or
Yeah, I saw him.
BBQ Chunky?
He made a big upset against 11, didn't he?
I mean, that is definitely like a good win. I'm not entirely sure if you'd call it an upset. Chunky definitely has already made a name for themselves in their own region. But 11, one of, we'll say Georgia's finest. So good win regardless.
I mean, if you've been noticing, 11 has been on the come up himself. He's been making a lot of top 8s. I mean, Flashback, I believe he got top 4?
Hashtag 11 for PR. All right, so
Put him at number 11 for the joke of it.
put him at number 1. No. Then he has 3 ones in his. All right, so just kind of checking the bracket while we're letting these two set up, see if I can find any upsets. Also, maybe I'm looking for my own placement. Don't judge. All right, so
Hey man, you did one better than me.
I had to fight Coda in losers round 3. I can't believe that.
That hurts.
All right, so
Now, I'd be lying if I said I knew. I know some basic stuff like the neutral jab ends up grounding people if, assuming that they are on the ground. I've seen a lot of ball play. I know that deep breathing kind of busted because it's pretty much limited. I know some of that basic stuff, but to be quite honest, I see a few games for John's number, and that's the most I ever got about.
John's number, John numbers.
John's number, whichever one it is.
John number. Sorry. All right. So the upset that I was looking for, it actually was Coda being upset by Emrak, who also upset their round 1, which was Gotham. So Yoshi main's eating good today. And then iGreg over Tope was an upset. Guapo actually beating Teaser in winners round 3. I'm surprised I didn't know about that already. Which I think Teaser's been going all Falco today.
Yeah, for whatever reason, he said that he just isn't feeling Samus right now. He's a little burned out, so he wanted to just play another character. So I believe he just made an entire alt account as to not impact him personally.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I'm a little salty about that because we have Cola
Still impacted.
What?
Still impacted.
I got you. Well, regardless, those are the upsets so far. Sorry to distract from the game, but iGreg currently down to stock on Chunky. In a battle of 2 zoners, which one wins? The one with the better kill power?
I mean, the thing is, I feel like the person who has the better kill power and the better, projectiles in the situation that we're being presented, all of it, I feel like is Wii Fit from what I'm seeing. I mean, it's just how impressive Chunky's playing this right now. He's just using the ball to bully iGreg very much. When iGreg feels like he has a little bit of comfort, he ends up eating a Salusa Sun. And then we have, whenever he tries to get into the boxing zone, while Robin can't box, we end up seeing him really just get outdone for the fact that he has a limit. He's just losing a lot of these exchanges.
Yeah, Chunky playing really well around Levin Sword. Usually when iGreg's coming in, it seems like there's always a volleyball waiting for him. But not quite going to salute the sun with Chunky there. But iGreg is still off stage after the grab. And down air coming out of Chunky's going to take the second stock. So up 3 stocks to 1. But yeah, it's not a matchup you see very often in Georgia, so I wonder if iGreg's just suffering from a lack of experience maybe. But Thoron not quite going to do it either. And
I mean, how often do we see this matchup, period?
I mean, they both play characters that aren't necessarily the most common, but...
Absolutely.
All right, so iGreg finally taking the first stock off the falling up air. But currently, a lot of his books seem to be running pretty low. Got to just recover back to ledge. Good parry on the back air. That definitely would have killed him out at the corner at 87 with deep breathing. But not able to break open the second stock yet, though. And Chunky just doing a good job keeping him out. And we're going to see Nair into up air. Not going to kill just yet, but...
Had he had limit, he probably would have. But hey.
Yeah, this is still just a very dangerous percent for iGreg. It's looking kind of bleak for this first game. Like, nothing's impossible, but he's really got to like play perfectly from here. And not quite going to do it there. Going to parry the Nair, just not quite, still not able to get a punish on it.
I'm kind of curious. I don't know anything about the grounded state when it comes to the neutral, but I'm kind of curious why he just went for an F tilt. I feel like he could have gone for a smash attack, but I'm not the one who plays this character.
I mean, it's maybe just about speed. Just going for the faster option. But I know down tilt is generally a pretty good option. Punish that.
What? They just got sudden death. What do we do?
Wait, who just got sudden death?
They did.
Vivid and who, or?
Those two.
Oh, wait, did they kill each other at the same time?
Yeah, it's a one stock 3 minute.
Apologies on the little interruption. According to what just happened is 11 and Rem are playing, and if they got sudden death because they knocked each other out. So they have to play a one stock 3 minute rule set.
Now they're going to play a 5 stock 3 minute now. Yeah, so kind of a hot set sitting right beside us, but we have a hot set here on stream as well. Getting into game 2, iGreg going for the color change power up, which, let's be honest, like, Blue Robin's sick. It's like green, blue,
White.
and I just like the two. But
Also,
regardless.
We didn't really mention this. Not that Chunky's using it a lot, but it's just one of those funny things where you have one of the possibly best ducks in the game and crawls along with it. Definitely just something interesting when you see him if he ends up using it a little bit more. He's just kind of been randomly crouching and stuff like that. Going to be eating a Thoron. We're seeing iGreg seemingly adapt very well, taking a very hard lead that we didn't see from game 1 at any point, to be quite frank.
Yeah, he was able to get one of the Arcfire ladders, which almost killed Chunky off the top. Not quite able to do that, but definitely gave him a comfortable percent lead. And in a zoner matchup, like if you're able to just play keep away, just like 100% lead might just be enough to win the game. But let's be honest here. We'd rather them kill each other. We don't want to see a timeout. Timeout would be. I mean, it'd be funny.
Timeouts are hype, dude. I think timeouts are hype.
It would be funny, but I don't necessarily think it's going to be good for the stream. All right, so right now, though, Greg keeping Chunky off stage. Not quite going to get the Thoron. Going to miss the book throw as well, but... then this should be a regrab punish, but not quite going to hit. I wonder if that's a Wii Fit thing where they hang too low or just iGreg didn't get the spacing right, but Packer going to be enough to take it, though, so...
A little A, a little bit of B, because iGreg was also not that close to the ledge.
Yeah, that's why I wondered if it was spacing. But regardless, just 50% on iGreg on his first stock, and never mind, he said, I'm going to go ahead and just heal a little bit. So even percentages, but one stock difference right here. And we're going to see another ladder. Nope.
Nope, missing it just by an ever so slight hair.
Yeah, iGreg definitely has adapted really well. Like, he's catching on to Chunky's weights. And
seemingly, he actually got the weak hit of out.
What percent was he at? That was 50, I swear.
40, something like, yeah, 50, 40. Going back to, man, I lost my train of thought. I actually don't even know what I was going to say.
Yeah, it's hard to get all your thoughts out when there's this much action going on the screen.
Right, what I was going to say is that he's actually getting the electric effect. He's not getting the actual meaty hit, and so it's causing him to not actually die.
And Thoron not quite going to connect there, but 147% on Chunky's second stock here. Going to eat the back hit in the air. Just, it's not going to kill, but it's definitely keeping the pressure on. And forward air, no, that was Nair. So
Nair's
good-
such a strong tool, so big, and just
hits on
kills.
both sides.
Levin Sword just has a funny hitbox all the time.
Yeah, 11 sword. Sometimes you just die at 70 to back air.
Double forward air into Nair. Greg is looking so much more comfortable here than he did the first match.
Yeah, so definitely, like I said, just sitting with a stock lead in the zoner matchups are really important because Greg's no stranger to just like using his resources, just keeping you away from him. So where Chunky was able to do that in the previous game, and iGreg was having to commit just a little bit more. Instead, he's able to just get these arc fires, but not quite able to get punished.
Maybe taking nothing. A little bit of squabbling. Now, one of the big adaptations that I've noticed from iGreg, and this is the same thing that he did against, also Ram took it over 11 real quick. One of the things that I noticed is that he's just throwing out Thunder and L Thunder a lot more commonly. It's the same thing that he did against Tope, actually, when he took to Game 3 against him. He just ends up throwing out Thunder and just creating a very different wall that his opponents just feel very uncomfortable by.
And iGreg gonna pay with that for that wave bounce with his stock right there, eating back air from Chunky, but 100% lead for him though. We fit with deep breathing though. Still a very dangerous situation being when you find yourself even stock with this character.
Very low shield. That's the duck that I was talking about. He actually just ducked under it, but he's going to be taking that because that hits the floor.
Yeah, so going to be getting punished for it. iGreg going for the mix-up. 1-1 in the set so far. So pretty sure they ran it back.
Get Morgan Stain on station 2. Morgan Stain on station 2.
So just taking a minute, pick the music. Gotta find something that gives good vibes. You need positive energy.
Music's such an important aspect. I mean, some people will literally counterpick the song that they're listening to if they know that their opponent is listening to the game. And that's some real cool stuff.
It happens. But regardless, we're back to PS2. Back to the zoner game. Whoever gets the first hit kind of just dictating neutral for a little bit. We fit with deep breathing. iGreg at 80, but here comes Levin Sword to the rescue.
Greg in the homie chant. Greg's picking up a little bit of the walling while Chunky took a little bit of the lead first. Definitely going to be taking it back, and now he has the lead.
Yeah, it was actually really good. Like, if he didn't feel he was in a situation where he might have gotten the kill, it's better to just take the heal himself, rack up 20, 30%, keep him in the fire too. Like, not able to SDI while you're getting man grabbed, but F-Tilt going to take it though. Even stocks here in game 3. Oof, going to eat the... iGreg going to salute the sun with Chunky for a second there, but I was going to say I have the sun flame. Well, that was cringe. We're not going to talk about that. Moving on. Moving on. So Chunky with deep breathing here. He's got him in disadvantage and looking for a forward air, but that's not going to be enough to gimp Robin. And iGreg just able to get over him there, but with no deep breathing, like, yeah, Volleyball actually covered that deep breathing charge, but he's still afraid of the thunder, so he dropped, or just let it go.
Getting hit just by the ankles.
Good forward air, actually.
Now we're actually seeing that duck come into play.
Yeah, he was expecting iGreg to probably try to mix it up again with another arc fire, so he just went for a forward air to call out the jump. But yeah, so just barely avoiding the... Sorry, I just don't know what it's called, so I just say saluting the sun with...
I mean, that is what the move is called. We can call it, you know, the little charge beam or whatever it is.
Yeah, so was that the back hit of... that was the back hit of forward tilt, I'm pretty sure, that took that stock. Not quite getting the back air, but forward air actually going to send Chunky right to the blast zone, just not able to close it out. Arc Thunder going to throw him off stage again, so keeping up with the ledge trap, but just he's been dodging those Thorons like perfectly. Like frame perfect air dodges here. But not going to be able to dodge that one. Going to confirm into it out of the arc fire. So, but and Greg having to throw the
Trying to get some tone
Thunder
play.
before.
We're here at an even last game, last stock.
yeah. So Chunky with a slight lead, but 4 minutes on the clock. We're not going to see a timeout. Thank God. All right. Yeah. It is still in a situation, though, where Chunky can kind of play slower than Greg, and they actually got him off stage after the dash attack. Not quite going to get the deep breathing. They're going to cancel out of it, but iGreg landing with the command grab, going to get a little bit of his health back. We Fit forward air beating out Levin. Better frame data, maybe. Another dash attack, just calling out, trying to knock the volleyball away.
Around 110.
Back hit at F tilt again.
That's the other thing that makes We Fit just so tricky is that, you know, her moves have different hitboxes.
Yeah, iGreg, he keeps getting caught by the mix-up of, like, not even really a mix-up, but just getting caught trying to move out of getting hit, or the volleyball hitting the shield. But getting kill spark on that throw right there, maybe now we know why Greg's acting just a little afraid of it. And up air into F tilt, going to be enough to take it for Chunky. So 2-1.
I mean, it just felt like iGreg was panicking a lot. We saw that last little bit. I mean, he tried to, you know, gain a little bit of control. He held ledge, thought about the options that he was going to be getting given, got on stage, and I guess, you know, the shield into F tilt. He was trying to feel like was Chunky going to call out the recovery options, such as, you know, get up or something like that. He wanted the one frame invincibility, but it just really cost him the stock, unfortunately, and the game ultimately.
Yeah, it was very much a set that was dictated by, like, who had momentum or who had the lead, because generally whoever did that was able to just keep pressing and pressing and pressing. But I think what was really hurting iGreg in that last game was just that he kept getting hit by, like, the Chunky's baits at the end there. Like, going for the up air, you think, I can punish out a shield now, and you get F tilted. Just remember, ladies and gentlemen, this game has no lag.
Do excuse me for a second. Hold on to this beginning for me. I have to use the bathroom.
Okay. All right, so Mugen Omega here. Not going to necessarily call it a Georgia Classic, but definitely a very common matchup here at 404. These two definitely have pretty good set record. If I remember, it's Omega favored. At least in the most recent sets, it's been Omega favored, but Mugen definitely not want to just take that line down. He's going to wait out the Rebels guard though. Rack up 60 on Omega, and Arsene should be coming out probably after the next hit, but whipping that up air. He's actually going to get the reversal on Mugen, trying to close that out before Arsene could be a factor. He's going to armor through the Joker back air, but that's actually going to put him in a worse situation after that up B. And quick 59% on him. We still have about a quarter of Joker's meter. So able to get the gun punish, but it's going to end up throwing Mugen on stage and not able to push any farther. But up smash out of shield out of Omega. Not quite going to finish off the stock though, but this is, yeah, so Mugen bringing it back to 2 stocks even, 120% on him though, so we're going to see how early this Roy can kill, and another reversal, just punishing Mugen coming off stage. Like, Joker's just saying, that's my thing. But, yeah, already lapping him in percent here, almost. Mugen answering back, coming up from the ledge with an air, and is that an SD? No. So, risky air dodge, but not really gonna get super punished for it. Just gonna lose a little Arsene meter. Gonna have to deal with a little bit of Roy ledge trapping. But yeah, Arsene's gone now, but Omega's still holding on to this stock. And see how much extra credit he's able to get.
All right.
Getting
Oh,
the
we
full
actually
up
see
air there.
Omega in the driver's seat right now.
Yeah, pretty sure Omega has the winning record, at least for recent sets. I don't know what the lifetime is.
Lifetime is Mugen. I've commentated this enough to know that. But Omega has definitely been on the come up that he's been winning more. I actually believe recently that got changed to Omega favor. Very, very recently, like the last 2 sets that they played.
Yeah, but regardless, these two still just trade back and forth.
absolutely.
Omega with the lead here in game 1, though. 83% on Mugen already, which as soon as Arsene comes online, that's kill percent. And Omega might not even need to wait for that, but getting Roy off stage, definitely getting hit by the up B there, but getting the drag down. And down smash could be enough to take it for game 1. Am I too loud?
Nah, that's
Hard.
fine.
Am I too loud on the mic? Turn you down? You might need to. Just a little bit. Sorry, every time I get like slightly loud, I feel like I'm peaking, so I'm trying not to abuse the audience. Alright. Oh wow, I can't hear myself at all anymore. Okay. So
All right.
PS2, game 2. Sorry about that, folks. That'd be on me. All right, so jumping into the action, Mugen building a quick lead on Omega, but not necessarily a huge one just yet, but it's keeping him at disadvantage here. He's not letting him get back to the ground. And 81%, not going to roll into the forward smash Mugen was looking for. And now Arsene's out, kind of even the playing field just a little bit.
That's 60.
Up smash. Oh my.
Gonna be taking it really early. That was at 58, I believe.
Yeah, that was. I don't think that was bad DI. I think that was just like the little bit of rage Omega had being enough to just push him over, because I was not expecting that to kill. I was like, oh, there's a lot of damage. Not, oh, there's the stock. All right, so
Taking the up tilt.
yeah, Mugen trying to take the stock as quickly as he can before Omega gets too much extra credit, but man, that should be able to do it.
40%, I mean, that's a failing grade, but I mean, it's something, right?
Yeah.
He's hitting that 54.
I mean, that's 40% extra credit. That's not talking the 100 he already got. So
That is fair.
figure out the math for that GPA. But all right, so good Rebels guard. Just got to get him Arsene a little bit earlier to get him out of the corner situation. And now he's getting his own juggle, but good landing side B coming out of Mugen. And back air going to punish the down gun. And, yeah, Mugen's been going for those a lot. Maybe it's just a matchup thing for it's like this is a matchup where this just really works well. But just any extra damage, I suppose, to get him closer to kill percent. That back air almost doing it by itself. Good up air going to get Mugen off of him. So, but this, yeah.
And
That's
reversing
the
it
third
again.
reversal.
Yep.
Yeah, so
Can't imagine that Mugen's too happy about what's been going on with that.
yeah, trying a little hard to secure the kill, but not quite finding what he needs and giving Mugen the opportunity to get back in. Or I'm sorry, just giving Omega the opportunity, not Mugen.
Getting it.
Yeah.
Sending coast to coast.
Max rage on Omega here, but Jinx.
64. 64 is a D in some classes. Are we taking that?
Alright, so Arsene's already out, so we're back to kill percent on Mugen here.
Trying to go for something a little cheeky.
Yeah, not quite able to. And Mugen's actually brought this back to an even game. Arsene's almost gone, so Omega needs to, like, this is it. Oh, that was not an intentional pun.
That's going to be A2-0.
I saw the fair one. It's like Omega drag down.
Yep.
All right,
What else is he known for? So we're going to have a Wii Fit versus Ken, Chunky and Jazzo.
I feel like we thought the iGreg versus Chunky set was going to be long. I feel like this will be longer.
I mean, you have somebody who actually in a more comfortable situation camps, that being Jazzo, very much does not mind being a little bit more methodical. It's really about, I want to see how Chunky deals with the situation. How familiar is he with the Ken matchup? Because the other thing as well is that while Hadouken is going to be able to be crouchable, just a down tilt that he's going to end up eating if he tries to abuse that too much, it's going to end up leading to his demise ultimately.
Sorry.
Hey, look, there's literally a sign on the back door that says breaking controller zone or some shit like that. I don't know. If you're mad, go outside, take your controller, slam it up against a brick wall. I've done it like 3 different times with a PS4 controller. I've broken 4 PS4 controllers up and down. And don't break my stuff inside the shop. Outside the shop is fair game. I don't care what you do out there. Don't break my door. Don't break my tables. Don't break my chairs.
I'm sure if this is being picked up on commentary, but we're talking about rage. Break your stuff outside, not inside the venue.
Yeah, a little bit of a rage event happened, it seems like.
I mean, I want to make a comment. You know, I've started commentating, and Georgia as a whole has escalated. I remember, you know, pre-COVID, it was what it was. I mean, sure, we were all a little bit scrubby, a little bit newbie, and we were making some mistakes and camping and stuff like that. But I'm very happy with what we see. I mean, the matches that we constantly keep seeing up here are always just phenomenal. And people are just, you know, everybody who's here after COVID cares about the game. They care about what they're doing, and they care about the situation. I know that, you know, there's kind of that joke that, you know, a lot of people are like, you know, come here for the social aspect, come for the game later. But there's so many people who, I mean, it's just a hand and foot type of situation. They're so happy that they get to make their passion, you know, their social hobby too.
I mean, it's important to remember, though, that with, like, that kind of passion or, like, passion for the game,
Definitely keep
like,
it
the more you care about it, the more, like, upset you're going to get when things do happen. So
Getting upset is super free.
like, getting upset is understandable, but let's not break stuff while we do it. Or at least not other people's stuff. Break whatever you want of your own stuff. All right, so looking at bracket, though, 11 actually took Teaser out of bracket and losers before falling to Rem. So right now, top 8 is looking like iGreg and Blue Jay are playing first spot, Vivid and Rem, and Joe and the winner of Jonasly and Underdog. Underdog, I feel like I should know who they are. I think it's a
Underdog
tag
has
change.
actually been somebody who moved here recently, if I wasn't mistaken. I forgot who they ended up playing. If I'm not mistaken, they were Steve, but I might be entirely wrong on that. I did commentate an Underdog set last week. A little bit flustered about the fact that I don't remember that enough.
Yeah, well, regardless, if they manage to make it past Jonasly, we'll probably be able to see them here on stream coming up. And then Kylan and Stain are also playing for top 8.
Who and who?
Kylan and Stain.
Gotcha. Let's go into the match, though, because we are here at 100%. Jazz on a lead situation.
Yeah, so definitely, like I said, I kind of figured this matchup might be a little slower just because Jazzo's definitely patient and Chunky really doesn't have a reason to want to approach Ken. Like, maybe out of a confirm or something, but it feels like a match where it's going to be a lot of cat and mouse and Jazzo just chasing Chunky down. But right now, Chunky with a pretty decent percent lead, but this is still the percent where Ken only needs one hit, and suddenly it's his lead. And we're going to find it there. So 162% on him, deep breathing on Chunky. So good focus to survive the first hit, but volleyball got sent him all the way up there.
Going to be getting a full focus, going to be going for a meaty hit. That's the thing that I was trying to mention. He went for a reset, he got greedy, didn't get a full capitalization that he could have. Now, should you always go for the types of situations? I mean, I would respect what he's trying to do, but it could potentially cost him a little bit more. He could be getting more extra percent, and instead, I mean, we're here getting reset.
Well, it's like you're trying to capitalize on your punish game, and it's a Fox thing too. A lot of Foxes do, if you notice, is they intentionally drop their combos looking for a frame trap because they're going to get more off of the frame trap than they're going to get off of hitting one extra dash attack. So it's just, it's a way to play certain characters, and Ken's definitely one of those that like can capitalize off of just backing off, letting them do their panic air dodge, and then dying for it. Right now, Chunky's actually brought this lead back in his favor. But in the corner against Jazzo, not the situation you want to be. Wii Fit doesn't really care as much. Going to get the grab, throw him off stage. Forward throw, going to throw him back off. And going to focus through it and get back to center, but like Chunky was comfortable playing from the ledge anyway, so waiting at center for him is not going to matter much. And not going to get the spike hitbox on the dare, but
A little bit of squabbling. We were already in this situation, stock one, and then, I mean, Jazz is the one who ended up taking it. Getting a parry, but not much off of it. I mean, one of the other things that Wii Fit is just so infamous for is just how well she pancakes. I know that I mentioned the whole down tilt situation, but a lot of her moves make her lay very flat. Like that back air, she just, I mean, it's just bad as Pikachu, she's just longer.
it's definitely a really solid kill option for Wii Fit. Definitely something you have to respect if you're trying to approach Wii Fit shield, but Nair looked like it's going to shield poke there. And gonna focus through the up air, but this grab might be enough to do it. No, not without deep breathing.
No, I saw that
rage.
in the sim.
Oh,
Not something that you want to see.
yeah, looks like it was an accidental directional air dodge instead of air dodging up the ledge.
Going for a double parry, third.
Yeah, looking for the punish.
Using the Hadouken punish. Nice. I like these parries that we're seeing from Jazzo. Just not rewarding Chunky for any aggressive option that he's trying to present. It's going to cost him the stock, and now we're here in first game, last stock.
Yeah, so I can respect, like, you kind of know what Wii Fit's looking in that situation, so it's not necessarily a super hard read, but I can respect the reaction time to get the parry on all of those, and just, like, he's aware of the situation, he's reacting to any kind of movement because he knows what's coming. But gonna eat 60%, I don't think.
Now, I want to point out that he ended up doing a side swap. Very impressive. That was very good.
Just gonna kill. Yep, he exploded.
I
That might
gotta
have been a
say,
little early.
I didn't know who Chunky was, but watching him play, I have an immense amount of respect. I mean, that man has a lot of discipline with what he's doing. I mean, you know, if I was in that situation, I know I would have accidentally dashed or something like that. To have that type of discipline is just always, amazing to see. I love seeing that.
So, you don't know who Chunky is. I'm gonna not really rectify that, but I'm gonna say shout outs to DBQ. That's actually, I've never talked to Chunky, but that's where I know their name from, is just the DBQ members in Georgia. Just, they've been hyping him up, talking about how good he is, and occasionally he comes down to events here. I think this is the second or third in Georgia that I've known about. But yeah, just really solid player. One of the better Wii Fits. We had Gregorian on stream earlier, our very own homegrown Wii Fit. I think Chunky probably gets better results than them. But yeah, and they're showing it with their play. Like, Jazzo taking game one, but Chunky definitely was like holding his own in that. Already beating iGreg too.
I'm kind of curious why you would go to FD, where this is traditionally a significantly good Shoto stage.
I don't have the answer for that. I don't know enough about this character. I know you don't want to take him to tri-flats. He's going to focus through the back air there, but going to eat an F tilt for his troubles.
And the thing is, when it comes down to the situation, is that you don't have the platforms to play with to force awkward situations, because these characters don't have very good jumps and aerial mobility. Is where the primary weakness is. Good combo games, good punish, good kills. I mean, they have a lot of the other stuff nailed down. But now that you're removing an entire element that you can no longer play with, especially when we're in a platform fighter, it just makes a very questionable decision. But I mean, we are going to be seeing Chunky take the first stock, so.
Yeah, it might be just not giving Jazzo any extra places to land, because Chunky's definitely been like looking for punishes off a dash attack, and just also looking for their ladders off an air. Like, they had one that was 0 to 60 in the last game. But Jazzo answering back on that stock, only taking 38% as soon as I say that. But now I get to see the 48% from one Ken combo. Like, don't get me, but all right, so Chunky pushing Jazzo off stage again, not gonna be able to get deep breathing. Got the longer version. I'm not sure how the mechanic works for what decides. I think it is based on like how recently you had it, but I don't know what the actual like metric is. And volleyball into F tilt just gonna get Jazzo off the ledge and catch him dropping shield there. And good forward air from Chunky, gonna
I guess
close out the stock.
Chunky really showed me up. I do feel like this is, I still keep to what I said. This definitely is a stage that where FGC characters have a lot better time playing, because you know how to play with the platform element. Definitely think you were definitely onto something, talking about sealing the stocks a little earlier, because we've been seeing that he's just been forcing Jazz into more awkward situations that he doesn't want to be in. But also I just feel like at the end of the day, when it comes to just traditional zoning, you can throw the soccer ball in a much easier place. The Salute the Sun has a much harder way of navigating, and the way that you just kind of cover all the options that Ken wants to approach you just leaves him in a very awkward position. This might be, when it comes to this matchup, this actually might end up just being Wii Fit favored.
I mean, this is just speculation for me. I don't actually, not 100% confident on it. What are the blast zones on FD like? Because really, Chunky's playing very heavily at ledge. They might just not care about what's on the stage. They're just trying not to give Jazzo any extra like platforms to play with to maybe get combo extensions, because like their center is the ledge based on how he's been playing. Like, he knows that that's where the matchup benefits him. And Chunky taking the stock closing out game 2 off that forward air while I was too busy talking about the stage.
Hey man, it's fine. Well, the ball, what ended up happening was he focused, the ball hit, and then the forward air from deep breathing really going to seal out that second game.
Yeah, Chunky's has been doing a really good job of just punishing focus in game 2. All right, so while we get the cameras lined up, for the record, yes, Jazzo is actually 2 feet taller than Chunky. That's not just an illusion from the camera, ladies and gentlemen.
No, I'm looking at the seats.
Oh, yeah. All right, so getting into game 3 here. I think this is still best of 3. It gets to best of 5 and top 3. But yeah, Jazzo choosing small battlefield, which is reintroducing platforms but keeping a smaller stage, not giving Chunky as much like room to move around or run away from him. And I have a feeling Chunky probably banned triplats just based on their counter pick being FD. Because I feel like Ken would benefit from taking Wii Fit to Yoshi's for sure.
Absolutely.
I'm actually not sure how the slants work with volleyball. Volleyball. Maybe I'm absolutely wrong.
Hey man, volleyball, soccer ball, it's a ball, who cares?
Well, I just mean, like, I'm not sure how slants affect the ball's movement, so maybe it's not the safest pick. Might be why he just went for more of a neutral option.
Well, when it comes to the stage, it actually does have a lower ceiling than most of the other stages, so killing with that Shoryu is just more potent.
That's the Ken. All right, good nair, actually going to break him out of focus there. But going to survive the up air, but Jazzo is starting to get red for coming down with focus just a little too much. Chunky's going to get the punish right there on the shield pressure, get the back air. But honestly, Jazzo's shield's not looking really good after getting the header right there, because deep breathing header, surprisingly high shield damage.
Yeah.
Are we going to see the stock? Yeah.
That is.
That's going to be corner pressure plus just lower ceiling, probably.
Yeah, I mean, I was a little concerned about how this match was going just from the little bit we were seeing here. It definitely seemed like Chunky was in the driver's seat for a little bit, but I guess Jazzo just kind of did his little edge play, kept resetting him, and just not letting Chunky play a game.
Yeah, right now though, like I said, it's kind of the cat and mouse I was expecting, where Chunky's just staying under the platforms, trying to catch Jazzo from going in, but he's going to get
I have
dropped the original
never
punish,
seen
but was able
forward
to
air
just
trip.
I mean, you'd be surprised if it was, I can't even remember what it was, but I got tripped by something yesterday. I could not believe it. Because it was an aerial. I was like, why is an aerial tripping me? All right, so Jazzo with a slight lead right now, and this is a percent where it might benefit him now that he does have the lead to maybe just play Wii Fit's slower game, as long as Chunky's not like punishing heavily, especially now that he's taking that second stock off Shoryu. But Jazzo said, I don't care, I want to deal damage. I want to play the video game. 64% on Chunky's last stock here. Our loser of this goes into loser's quarters. So guaranteed 5th, but nobody wants to go out at 5th here.
No, but like I said, Jazzo, I mean, wanting to participate in the GA versus EU type of conversation,
Yeah,
because a lot of people are just kind of overlooking him, even though he's a fantastic player in his own right.
Yeah, definitely a really solid player. We're not going to talk about making a montage of your own gameplay, but right now, though, Jazzo's just trying to prove that like he belongs in that conversation, and kind of just showing it right now on Chunky. Just already at kill percent right there, and this should be it. Yeah, slight little pop off from Jazzo, just charging up.
I mean, it's just excellent adaptation. I mean, when you just get that kind of stock like that, I mean, I can't blame him. I mean, he had the download. He was pressuring him in a situation that, Chunky was being uncomfortable. I know I say that quite often. That seems to be my go-to phrase. But when you make people uncomfortable, they end up picking a wrong decision, and you just capitalize on that.
Yeah, it kind of boils down to the same thing with like the iGreg set with Chunky, is that whoever had the lead kind of got to dictate the pace of neutral.
We're going to go to a quick break before Runners Finals, as Jazzo requested one. We're going to a break. Jazzo need a break. Jay, you got it. But we'll be right back. Thank you all for watching.
battle. Ken Joker.
You're live.
We are live. Classic having the dip. He had an hour drive. Always love that, you know, we got some far distance people coming. But Teaser out here on mic with me.
Yeah, hello. I'm first time commentating, pretty excited, or at least commentating 404. But we've got Omega Jazzo here, two of Georgia's finest.
Absolutely. Jazzo on an absolute chair after taking on Chunky.
Read it, don't say it out loud.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, Omega, I think, is the winning record against Jazzo, but Jazzo's always got a shot. Playing such a volatile character, you lose a few neutral interactions and that's your stock.
Absolutely. I mean, percent really doesn't matter when it comes to this type of matchup, just because at the end of the day, it's like every time he eats, you know, one interaction for 40, another interaction for 90, and then, you know, hopefully a Shoryu to end it.
Yeah. Arsene's an issue, though, because if Jazzo gets caught off stage when Mega has Arsene, that could be an issue, but not looking like an issue so far. Arsene getting right out of there.
Again, just exactly what I ended up mentioning about how you did 2 interactions and you just got to look for the Shoryu, essentially.
Yeah, it feels like Omega's just running at him right now. Jazzo playing this a bit more patient, getting those parries in there that he's so well known for.
That is what this matchup is. Jazzo, an incredibly patient player. He always lets other people come to him and making mistakes. It's so detrimental when you let him take the first stock because he just won't approach you and just let you make a mistake and then capitalize on it again and again and again.
Yeah, and Jazzo at 130, but Arsene's not out yet. Omega doesn't have a really solid way to kill him unless he lands like a fair one or something, like right here, and that's going to even it back up.
Now we're about to see Arsene come out about the 40.
Yeah, now Jazzo's got to be the one who's scared here because Arsene basically replicates what a Shoto can do. 2 neutral interactions and you die a lot of the time, especially if you have a recovery just as exploitable as Ken's.
Trying to go for some sort of reset. He went for a reverse back air.
Oh, and is this going to be the stock? Yeah, Jazzo just burning his double jump a bit too early, trying to go high. Scared of eating counters down low, but Omega just ready.
But we're going to go to a 1-1 winners finals. This is a best out of 5. So game 1, last stock, fresh stocks for both players. From what we were saying, Jazzo took the first stock, Omega taking the second one. So it's just very interesting to see who ends up taking the first game.
Yeah, it's a back and forth so far. No one able to get on top momentum-wise. But Jazzo trying to fight for the first neutral interaction right here. But Arsene back out. Let's see what Omega's able to do with it. Jazzo, really good anti-airs. Ken, not really a character known for anti-airing, going up there and meeting him, but Jazzo's making it work.
Jazzo went for a really greedy reset. And I'm sure that was supposed to be a Shoryu, but
yeah, that would have been it. But it doesn't matter. He's just going to pick it right back up. Feels like Omega's also just not spacing his aerials on shields safely enough. Against Shoto's you've got to be like really, really careful about how you're spacing on shield, but Omega's just saying screw it. Let's just run right in there and do these super close backers, these super close nairs to Jazzo's shield. Jazzo's just down tilting him for it.
I mean, you're absolutely right. There's not much that I can add on to that. But we're going to be going into this game, too. You marked the wrong person, by the way. You put Omega 1.
Running back to PS2, Georgia Classic. I don't ever see any like PR players in Georgia counterpicked any other stage. It's unheard of here.
We actually saw Stain Jazzo play on Yoshi's and a few other stages. But when it comes to these two, I mean, there's a lot of the PR people, like, as you mentioned. I mean, we just love our PS2. We want our neutral. We don't want any reason to say that, you know, you won because you got your plats.
Yeah, no Johns here in Georgia. Game 2 looking a bit more even, if I remember correctly. Jazzo got off to the fast start in game 1. But all these nairs keep getting parried. It's so difficult for Omega to find that opening. He's just got to hope for Jazzo to miss space and nair or something.
And that's what I'm talking about. Just Jazzo's absolute patience. I mean, it's just immaculate, honorable.
And, oh my God,
going for a hard read where he ends up reading the air dodge and just ups airs him.
I don't even think that was an air dodge read. I think that was just true. He died at like 70. Arsene's just so scary. But Omega SDIing out, and now he's got Jazzo off stage once again, trying to read another high recovery, but Jazzo's not giving it to him yet, but he's still going to eat this 65.
Seeing actually a reversal what we ended up seeing, and taking a random Shoryu, DPing him out of the air, saying this is a no-fly zone, you cannot be in this air.
That was like something you'd see in Street Fighter or something, just like the reversal DP out of corner.
75 here on Jazzo, getting a C letter grade, B.
Oh, Jazzo having to fight his way out of the corner. This 88% can be made up pretty quickly if he gets a hit like that nair right there, but he's going to have to get an extension, which gets reversaled once again. It feels like Omega keeps like getting these back throws on him out of the corner. And oh, that may have been it, but Omega just being able to air dodge away just in time. Jazzo a few frames late on the follow-up. He keeps getting these nairs, but they're not leading into much.
Omega trying to throw out like a wall of back airs, but they're not really working out for him. The E-Hawk going to be covering the ledge option, allowing him to safely get back to take stage. 150.
Yeah, Omega's going to look for the stock here, and he's going to get it with that counter. Jazzo barely misspacing it, thinking maybe he can clip Omega, maybe have to skip the ledge situation, but Omega just ready.
106, full charge F smash approximately.
Jazzo off stage at 20. Those bullets could have been it, but Omega opting for the safer route, just opting for the ledge trap instead. And Omega DIing in on that up air so that the up B wouldn't hit. Incredible awareness from him. I feel like 95% of players at least would have died there.
But when you play Ken so much, I mean, you start getting this awareness. He has an 1800 word dock on you is what the rumor is. I'm sure that against Jazzo, somebody he's played so much against and has so many frustrations, I mean, he probably has an 1800 word dock on him too.
Yeah. Jazzo getting Arsene out of there really quickly. I feel like people don't realize exactly how vital it is to remove Arsene from the equation as soon as possible, especially when Joker's getting like 2 of them per stock.
Yep, absolutely. Such as a lethal weapon, just how it allows you, as you mentioned earlier in the game 1, just allowing you to turn everything into about 2 to 3 interactions and you're dead.
Yeah. Also, Omega playing it way more patient now that he has this lead, and yeah, forcing out the focus cancel right there, going low and catching it, and that's going to be game 2 going to Omega.
I think the one thing that I've noticed about Omega is that he mimics his opponent's speed. If you play slow, he plays slow. If you play fast, he plays fast. I think he had just come off a hot set and just was going full aggro, wasn't really thinking. He needed that game 1. Unfortunately, kind of threw away the first game, but it allowed him to pull down. Now he's here even. Let's see whether it's Jazzo now who readapts to him or if Omega's just going to further on his lead.
Yeah, I think there's really like 2 types of players, and there's like these more formulaic, more methodical players who stick to their own playstyle. Like they have like a flowchart for each matchup, and they're going to stick to it. And then you have the players that really listen to what the opponent's trying to do, and they pay attention. And Omega's definitely at the second breed, and it's showing in how he took that game too.
I want to ask you a question. Have you seen the Smash documentary?
Yeah?
Oh yeah, so they actually mentioned the 3 players here. We have the Heat, the Cold, and the Robot. Well, the Robot player is always the smartest option. The Cold player, well, no matter what pressure they're facing, that they'll face it with head on. It doesn't matter if they're stock down. And we have the Heat players who play with all their passion. They need all that momentum behind them. Omega definitely one of the passion players, and Jazz a lot more on the Robot side. Traditionally speaking, we see that actually the hot players take it over the Robots because they end up just picking options that the Robot just doesn't really understand.
Yeah, if you break the flowchart, then if you find like an option that's not included in the flowchart, then the flowchart player won't know what to do about it. And if they're more used to studying, then they're not going to be able to figure out like a solution on the fly. It's going to take them a bit longer. That not being an issue for Jazzo yet though this game, as he's up a stock and a half. And that confirm not hitting. Omega still got our 7% left, but Jazzo waiting it out, something we rarely see Georgia players do.
We are at 67, 30, 50.
And that's 52 already. That's already half, like a third of your stock.
Lost the lead.
No jump? Omega knows, and that's going to be the stock.
Oh, he had a jump. I was wondering if he had it. I thought he did. And just ever so valiantly saving it to the very last minute. Omega himself probably thought he caught it.
Omega not caring though. Jazzo trying to get those reversals, like getting up and then mashing down tilt instead of taking the space.
And just a raw DP right there.
Jazzo's DPs have been so good this set. He hasn't really missed one. Run up shield. Omega wisening up to Jazzo's game plan of just waiting for him to misspace something, and instead just hitting him with the run up grab, finally breaking Jazzo's attempt to take space.
59. We still need about 2 more interactions where he can kill. 70.
Jazzo not committing, trying to keep the advantage, making sure that he doesn't want to get reversaled, and that barely not hitting.
Mega's just immaculate SDI.
And that's gonna, does he have a jump? Not anymore, but he doesn't catch the focus cancel. That could have been it, but at least he still has the advantage. Jazzo going for the rising Tatsu. No, he's trying to catch low.
and somehow still getting the reversal. I don't know whether that was him or the game, but regardless, I mean, Jazzo going 2-1.
Omega unhappy. I think he knew that Jazzo was going to do that Rising Tatsu there, but just tried covering low anyways. He knows he can win this. Just, is his execution going to be good enough?
No, I've been mentioning this throughout the night. I'm sure you're aware of the GA versus EU beef that's been going on a little bit on the Twitter. Very much rooting for Jazzo here because throughout a lot, he feels very left out of the Shoto discussion. I mean, we see it being between Vendetta and apologies, I don't know the Spanish player.
Andres.
You know, it's between them. They're actually talking about having a 1st to 10 at Genesis when they meet each other.
Yeah, I know Jazzo's been feeling like he has something to prove recently, especially because Andres just won a European national tournament, and Vendetta with that top 8 at Glitch. Jazzo feels like he has to keep up. And this win on Omega could be the first step to proving himself.
Going to be seeing a little bit of squabbling, but Omega overall just having the tighter neutral here.
Yeah, but Jazzo with that air dodge down, Omega not ready, and now he's the one in the situation. Jazzo probably going to try and kill him there, but what a fair one! Knowing that Jazzo didn't have anything there and saying, I'm going to hit you.
This is the further evolution of the meta between them because, you know, one of the biggest things that Jazzo just loves doing is he loves doing a lot of resets. So he'll hit you with a move, wait for your panic option and punish you off of that. But Omega just ready for knowing that he's going to stutter instead of committing to another attack, getting that fair one, just taking the first stock, taking the lead for this one.
Yeah, another thing I want to point out is that Jazzo lost that first stock because he went for a DP out of the corner and it didn't hit. Omega's starting to catch on. He's jumping in and then fading away instead of fading in, trying to make sure that Jazzo doesn't know when Omega's going to land on him anymore.
Absolutely. And this is one of the most dominant games that we've seen where Omega's going to be leading it by 2 stocks, actually.
Yeah, it feels like Omega's caught on to Jazzo's disadvantage. He's noticing something that Jazzo's been doing this set. Feels like Jazzo keeps getting caught without his jump off stage. And that's a doom situation if you're Shoto versus Joker.
And then he's just taking it from a raw DP. I think Jazzo just breaking out a little bit of that robot that we mentioned earlier where he's just wanting to do some raw stuff and it's just catching Omega off guard because he's not ready for those options.
Yeah, I think Omega was a bit late on catching the neutral get up there. Roll in and Jazzo's going to get an extension, but I know he wanted that down smash to hit. And now this is going to be a real uphill battle. First he's got to get off the ledge.
Almost taking it right there with a down air on the platform.
And oh my god, he got hit at 70 and died. That's the danger against Shotos. And now really Jazzo has got a slim hope here. Shoto's such a dangerous character, especially when they have this much rage. Betting it all on black there, and that's not going to work. Omega just letting Jazzo rip that focus in neutral. So much end lag, and that's going to be an easy conversion for him.
We're going to see a 2-2 at game 5. Jazzo reeling back a little bit in his chair. Needs to take a deep breather and wants to convert his game 5 because if he can go onto winner's side, I mean, that's such a good thing for him.
Yeah, especially because you've got killers like Mugen and losers. You really want to have that safety of another set versus them in case they make it all the way back to Grands. Half to PS2. Yeah, both these guys are playing way slower than they were at the beginning of the set.
Again, Omega just meeting Jazzo at his pace. It's just very hard to discipline yourself like that, where you can just say, I will match my opponent. You know, I played Omega round 2, and he just smoked me.
Oh, that was incredible SDI from, oh my god, dude.
Omega robbing Jazzo of his hope.
Jazzo got like 3 extensions on the ledge, Omega refusing to go to ledge, wanting to hit that turnaround, and he's making the most of this Arsene. I don't know if Jazzo has a jump here. Oh my god, that would have been the stock, except one of the hitboxes of the Tatsu clipped Omega barely off on that. And now instead of it being 3 stocks to 1, it's 2 stocks to 2.
Absolutely. With that 90% credit, I mean, about to get to 100.
Yeah. Omega trying to call out Jazzo going high like he's been doing a lot of this set, but instead Jazzo just waits for the call out and then goes a bit lower. He's still able to get back to stage without having to go to ledge, but now he's underneath Omega. But
the ledge trump to back here, I mean, what tradition is that for Omega? At 70.
And now he's got to contend with this full Arsene. That's going to be at least 40 already. No jump in 50%. And
The ledge,
yeah,
air dodge the ledge.
Omega knew that directional air dodge was happening, but failed to catch it. And he fell out. I don't know if Jazzo has a jump here.
Doesn't matter, able to grab, able to seal it out. We're at 95.
Omega not being careful, trying to catch the neutral getup, not ready for the roll, and he's going to die for it. This looks like Omega's game to lose right now, especially against a Shoto as dangerous as Jaws is. And this could be it, but he gets a reverse nair instead of a forward one. Like you're going to go the other way. Maybe getting saved by Snapback.
Getting ledge.
Omega failing to catch these Tatsus. It feels like he knows when Jaws is going to do them. He's just not covering them.
Wash rinse repeating him.
Oh! Omega barely getting away with that directional air dodge down, and now he's got Arsene. No way that's it. But, oh! Oh, that was such a good wait from Jazzo, knowing that Omega's gonna go for the counter and then going even lower than Omega thought he could. And no. No.
Nope, okay.
93. Oh, this is even right now. Oh, and that should have been a down throw. That would have been it, but instead he back throws him. But that's finally gonna do it.
The sigh of relief coming from Omega. He's gonna be sitting in Grands pretty. Jazzo, I mean, good showing, but he's gonna have to do that twice if he ends up making it into Grands himself.
Yeah, and the loser's bracket is not a pretty place to be in this tournament. We've got Georgia PR like Joe, Kalen, Omega, all down in losers. South Carolina legend Chunky. I wouldn't want to fight any of those people right now, dude.
We got Mugen and Blue Jay playing right now at Station 1. Is Joe Kalen playing also at Station 5?
Yeah, Joe Kalen looks like it just ended. We don't know who won, though.
Whoever won plays into Chunky.
Yeah. Chunky, I think he's a really slept-on player. Number 2 in South Carolina right now, if I remember correctly, behind Peanut.
Peanut, very valuable player. I was talking to Classic when he was here. He was talking about, people have been hyping up on the Downbeat Queen server and stuff like that.
Yeah. Chunky usually doesn't get the opportunity to travel that much, partially due to his location, but also.
So now it's Chunky Kalen. I think Chunky won last time.
That sounds right. I think he did also. Yeah, both these players, I think it's important to point out that both these players are way more patient than the two that we just saw. Jazzo, a patient player, but these two take it to the next level. I think we're going to be in for a longer set here.
I don't know. We'll see. One of the biggest things is when we saw Chunky versus iGreg, I thought that was going to be a very long set. But both of the games were done before the 4-minute mark. When we saw Chunky versus Jazzo, we actually saw most of the games go to the 2-minute mark.
Really? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Chunky, I feel like there's two ways to play Wii Fit Trainer, and that's really like super interactive. You get your deep breathing and then you mash your hitboxes on them. Or you just play super passive, go to ledge, get your deep breathing, get your sun salutation, and make them come to you. And Chunky's more of the second type.
I definitely see him turn it on when he needs to. I think that's the most important thing, is that when he's clashing with the others, Chunky will decide, it's time for his deep breathing, mashing, and then if you want to sit on the other side, he has no problem just hurling projectiles your way. I see him play with the soccer ball all sorts of ways, doing all sorts of finagle things to just get angles that I just was like, I didn't know you could, achieve that.
Yeah, Chunky's soccer ball play is really good. He'll send that
though.
ball, like, if you're in the corner of the stage, the corner of the blast zone, he'll find the one angle that's going to kill you.
Double fair, getting the front hit and then back hit.
Chunky getting off to a good start. I think you saw him go for that dare down low. He already wants to be off the stock lead right here. Kalen a bit more aware than that, though, not going to be getting hit by something that's so obvious.
Now, I definitely want to know what's Kalen's matchup knowledge on this, because Wii Fit is just such an odd character. I mean, we're seeing him, almost basically getting 0 to death here. I mean, Chunky's sitting at a white 24, about to get lapped in percents.
Yeah, I also want to point out that Chunky just frame trapped Kalen to take that first stock by going for the soccer ball and then bearing him, which it's really hard to get the soccer ball to do those things. Kalen looking like he may not be familiar with everything that Wii Fit can do.
I can't blame him. I mean, Wii Fit's such an odd character. I mean, aside from Chunky, I mean, I can't think of many people that we have here ourselves.
We have Gregorian, but he never comes to anything.
Ironic enough that he's here.
Yeah, he is at this tournament also. Oh, what a good counter. I think he's trying to counter a Wii Fit up B, but catching Chunky getting aggressive with that fair. Wii Fit trainer loves fighting off stage, and Kalen knowing that, punishing him for it.
I'm also curious if we're ever going to see a little bit of a reversal. If you hit the soccer ball back, you know, the possession is neutral on soccer ball, so, you know, you don't need a reflector to re-throw it back out there. But that takes, you know, a lot of experience, you know.
Yeah, especially the way to punish header when they're doing it off stage is to go under and then hit them for it. But I'm not sure if Kalen's familiar with that. And if you don't know like how to punish them headering off stage, it's nearly impossible to edge guard Wii Fit. Chunky sitting in shield. He's playing way more patient now that Kalen has Arsene. And now he's on ledge versus Arsene, but Wii Fit ledge roll, one of the longest in the game, catching Kalen off guard. And if you're not always covering the roll versus Wii Fit, you're going to get blown up by that F tilt sometimes.
Gotcha. I actually was not aware that that was the longest, or one of the longer ones.
It's ridiculously long. Like, if you're trying to ledge trap Wii Fit, they have like the option of headering from ledge, neutral get up, jump, and then that roll is what you've always got to be worried about. Really difficult to deal with.
Up special, not sure what that was.
Yeah, I think he was trying to header, but he got delayed, or like he buffered something due to the bullets and got an uppie, but he's getting away with it. Kalen already at 84 into the fair and Spike hitbox gonna take that game 1.
Chunky saying, or Kalen saying run it back. Now I know that we just came off of best of 5. We said this is a best of 3, so Chunky just needs the one more.
Kalen on his last life here. He's got to win 2 in a row, and against a player as patient as Chunky, it can feel like an uphill battle sometimes. I also disagree with him going back to PS2. I don't think you should be giving Chunky this much space. I think you need to chase him down, because Chunky's going to use this space to his advantage. If he gets a lead, he's going to make it impossible to catch him.
Getting a little stuff going on. Going to be face checking those Salute the Sun.
Yeah, taking 33 just from the projectiles alone. Not damage you want to be taking for free. Kalen missing the dash, and that nair grab should be a confirm, but maybe a bit nervous.
Kalen just trying to pull the trigger a little too soon. I think he's getting a little antsy. Probably be a little nervous from the game that he just played.
Oh my god, that angle on the header, hitting it off the stage to chase Kalen. Chunky's offstage pressure has been so good this set. Kalen having to fight for his life every time he's off stage, Arsene or not.
And an F tilt basically being an F smash.
Yeah, that F tilt is enormous. And especially with deep breathing, you're out of there at like 80, 90. Gotta respect that. Kalen only getting 28% on Chunky so far, but this is his first real opening. Wii Fit's so skinny though, hard to combo sometimes, and he just skinny bodies past the Joker Bear.
Not able to really get much on it. I mean, we got 48, we're at 58 now.
Yeah, 2/3 of the way to Arsene. Gonna need to get some more damage on him though if you want to hope to kill this Arsene though.
Kalen, I think, needs to take a little bit of a breather, swallow a little bit of what that little angst that he's got, because he seems to be just trying to, like, you know, I mentioned earlier, he's just pulling the trigger a lot in situations that he doesn't need to be. I know that we're here at 91, but deep breathing, reset.
Yeah, Kalen's playing this ledge situation a bit further back now, respecting the roll in, just settling for the corner pressure, letting Chunky neutral get up, and I really like this decision. Wii Fit trainer doesn't have the best options for boxing out of the ledge. He's got to hope for something like that roll in right there.
Afraid of just face checking the Salute the Sun. Getting hit by the soccer ball.
Yeah, and Arsene's gone now. Kalen maybe not going to get another one this stock.
The Georgia boys trying to shout out for Kalen, give him the boost.
Yeah. Chunky at 119, got to start worrying about the health of his stock right here. What a good run-up grab from Kalen, saying you can't shield in mid-range. I'm just going to break your pressure.
In the backyard, not enough.
Not even at 140. Kalen going to need 1 or 2 more of those.
And still not. Just an
I think it's because it's
immaculate
nailed, and I'm not sure if this is going to be it, no, but at least there's no more deep breathing on the line. However, the bullet sending the wrong way, and now Kalen's the one at the ledge. Now Chunky's the one fighting to take this stock first.
Down throw, nope, forward throw.
Chi breathing out yet again, and he up-used high by, I'm not sure if that's by accident or on purpose, but either way, Kalen's going to call it out and finally take the stock 1.
You're here at 100%. You almost got an Arsene already. Could be easily seeing a little bit of a trick. We're here at 128. Arsene's out.
I think where Chunky's been doing so well is in like how soon you're taking the stocks, because it feels like Chunky's taking these stocks so soon, like sub 100 half the time, but Kalen's having to work until like 150, 160, even later to take these stocks. Oh! Really good grab, chasing the roll, knowing that Wii Fit love to do it so much, but
70.
Oh, ill-advised grab. And that simultaneation hitting above and out.
Not expecting that option.
Kalen on his tournament stock. And playing with a deficit against a player as good as Chunky is going to take a lot of precision. You can't hit a wrong button.
No, you cannot.
Kalen struggling with these headers from ledge, maybe unfamiliar with them, but he's got the left bobble. But he drops it. Trying to get him to kill percent, but
do it again.
Deceptively hard.
Not able to. Nope.
Chunky going to ledge, and that's a
Getting
really good jump.
Taking a page out of Omega's book.
Chunky's been waiting a bit too long on that ledge. Kalen finally identifying that and calling it out with that ledge trump bear. Now we've got a hot last stock.
You know, props to Kalen regardless of whether he wins or loses this. I mean, he's really done a lot more work. His set adapting and just bringing whatever he can back.
That was a really good roll out, but Wii Fit trainer's so skinny, the down throw bear not hitting. On like 90% of the cast that would have hit, but Chunky just knowing that Wii Fit trainer can get away with that there.
That roll on ledge, I mean, just biting Kalen.
Yeah, Kalen's struggling to extend these ledge traps, but Chunky at 76.
Ab tilt, throwing him.
Oh, looking for the frame trap, but he holds out this time.
Ab tilt. Can you make the most of the situation?
Oh, hitting the soccer ball, so he's not forced to back off. And now Chunky's got to be worried here, but instant header onto ledge. I've noticed that Chunky isn't going for deep breathing off stage anymore. Maybe he's a bit worried of getting chased out there.
Dash attack almost killing.
It's going really low, but Wii Fit trainer can make it from like the bottom blast zone.
Not comfortable doing the ledge trap in this situation.
Okay, any move from Wii Fit trainer is going to kill here, but such a tense last dog. One hit's going to do for either of them. Oh!
Coast to coast.
But, Chunky wanting to end this right here. Trying to call it the neutral get up. Soccer ball hitting him because of the pummel. And Arsene's out. And air dodging in.
Let's go, Kalen.
Barely taking that game 2, sending it to game 3.
Georgia popping off for their own.
What a good comeback. And Chunky's going to have to win another one.
Do it again. Mom wasn't looking.
If you win this, we'll put you in jump.
We will not let Kalen into Gump if he wins this set. Full disclaimer.
Apologies, you guys can't hear it. The Georgia crowd just going crazy for Kalen.
I think we're heading back to stadium. Same characters, both players knowing what they got to do. No, we're heading to Bastion. I actually don't know why. Maybe he thinks that the center plat's going to give him more space to work with.
I mean, with such a low platform, I mean, you probably can do some stuff that got to be a little bit funky, a little bit chunky, but that's the Donkey Kong player that I'm talking about. But definitely going to be seeing what the Wii Fit can end up doing here. Just that platform, I'm just like sitting here questioning that element. I'm also questioning the last zone choices.
Yeah, this is a really mysterious counter pick. I'm really curious as to the reason for it. Hasn't been working out for Chunky yet, but getting hit by that falling nair. If there's one move you don't want to get hit by Wii Fit trainer, it's that falling nair.
It's going to be, I think, in I'm going to call it out and see if it ends up happening. I think he can do a double fast fall nair where you nair one, get to the platform, use that to extend into an up air with deep breathing. Probably going to kill super early if we manage to see something like that.
Yeah, Kalen's going to make it really hard to land something as saucy as that on him, though, especially because Joker's such a skinny body. It's harder to combo.
I mean, Chunky may not need to even do that if he could just keep resetting him.
Kalen's adaptation off stage, getting around these ledge traps is so impressive. I feel like he's getting hit by like every frame trap Chunky went for off stage at the beginning of this set, but now.
Back throw. He's here at 170. Unfortunate.
No way that kill.
Coast to coast. I mean, he took that at 170. Took it in the chest.
Yeah. Deep breathing gone at least, but just a few frames late on catching out the iframes going away there. Kalen again trying to punish Chunky for staying on ledge for too long. Trying to force Chunky to play to his tempo, play maybe a bit faster.
Double back air. Nope, Chunky's staying patience.
This F tilt has been working as such a good get off me option for Chunky. Feels like every time Kalen tries landing on him, Chunky throws out that F tilt, and half the time it just beats Joker Arsene like hitboxes. It's so big.
Back throw.
And
takes that stock, but hey, that's bringing it to a 2-2. We did see this in the last game. We've seen him literally just win these.
Woo! Nearly getting hit by that narrow bear, but Chunky wasn't ready for that hitbox. Georgia grad cheering for me. I'm not sure why, but
hey man, you're up there playing, didn't you know?
I guess, man. If I was up there playing, I'd be more like the Wicked Trainer than the Joker, though. I'm not sure why they're cheering for camping and lame playstyles. Oh!
Up 60.
Kalen tracking that full hop, or like that double jump. Don't know how Kalen knew, but Kalen doing such a good job of hanging on to his stocks. Earlier, he was losing every stock sub 120, but now he's at 162 yet again. It feels like he's living forever every stock.
The double back air giving him the lead. He has Arsene, but he's at 160. Chunky with invincibility.
I think Chunky's starting to fall apart just a little bit here.
One more stock
he's getting
chance.
these bad double jumps on his stage, and Caleb seems to have them tracked out. Caleb with
Nair gonna be good.
Back air not even close to killing. Chunky needs to kill this ledge trap situation, and that was such a good pivot grab. Now last stock, game 3, Georgia versus South Carolina, regional pride on the line here. Chunky going to defeat one of the best in Georgia, or is Kalen going to defend the homeland? I don't think Chunky has a jump
to get
here.
the extension.
But
the volleyball is hitting himself in the face.
Chunky at 100 even before Arsene. This is such a hard one to win. We Fit Trainer, character that relies on having the lead a lot of the time. But now can Chunky do it without a lead, coming back from a 113% deficit? Oh! He got hit by the Nair 1. He could have confirmed it. Up smash.
Confirming that. Kalen with the well-deserved top-off. I mean, from what we saw from game 1, I mean, it was just immaculate adaptation from Kalen. I can never, ever take that away. Nobody can take away from him from that tonight. Chunky out here, winning the hearts of many, though. I hope that everybody, still ends up respecting him. He played, played out his heart.
Yeah, Chunky played that so well. Kalen's adaptation is just so solid. Winning from behind and winning when he has the lead, proving that he can do it from any circumstance. If you're good enough, you're always going to find a way to win.
Getting dabbed up by the Georgia crew.
And now Kalen, his journey's only just started though, because next he's got to fight Mugen, one of the top dogs in Georgia.
He is playing for 4th. I wouldn't be surprised if this was actually one of Kalen's best showings. I don't know.
Kalen's a really inconsistent player, but tonight he's making, I think he's
making waves
right now.
I think his best win ever is beating.
Hey man, that's a good win though.
Yeah. Kalen fighting to prove himself. I know he's had an up and down couple of months results-wise, but when you have these good days, you got to just take them. You got to take the opportunity, and we're going to see if he can do it versus Mugen, top 3 roar in the world. Mugen, a way more aggressive player than Chunky. It's going to be really weird for Kalen to get used to the different.
Hopefully him being put on the ice doesn't impact him too much this game.
Yeah, playing against Chunky, if you're playing against a player with that play style, it forces you to play so well. So maybe Kalen a bit more warm than Mugen right now. I know that Mugen also hasn't played since last Thursday. And I don't think he's played any friendlies outside of bracket, but he's making it look like it doesn't matter right now. Quick 98. Also, Mugen and Omega play all the time. Feels like every time those two go to a 4-4, they end up playing in bracket.
Absolutely. I mean, they definitely have a long set history. Omega taking it tonight over Mugen. They actually did play tonight already. Omega actually, I believe, took it with a clean 2-0. And it was pretty against Omega, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, I remember it being pretty dominant. This set looking less dominant so far, though. These two trading stocks, both of them so good at killing so early against each other. It's going to be a pretty volatile one. Hitting that grab there, noticing that Mugen was DIing that down, which meant that he could go for the grab instead of the less powerful follow-up. That's really good awareness from Kalen. Good knowledge of his character.
Gonna be exchanging. Moving up center stage.
Mugen doing what he's known for best, throwing out those hitboxes, making it hard for Kalen to get in on him, and he two frames with a Blazer. One of the rarest interactions you'll ever see Roy land.
Absolutely. Gotta be just continuing his momentum, grinding 23, forcing Kalen into the corner. What's Kalen's response to this? He gets a grab.
Yeah, and being down versus Mugen is always so scary because when you're on a fresh stock, you know he can kill you at 0. He's one of the best players to do it.
Unable to get the ledge from Mugen, just picking a fast option.
Oh, Kalen coming on aggressively. Mugen not ready for it. Usually Jokers go to ledge there. What a good mix-up, and Kalen's going to get the stock for it ultimately.
Even though it's a stock, but has RSM popped about a half already.
Ooh, only being able to land the jab nair there. I know Mugen definitely wanted more from that interaction, but he gets hit with the Jeff smash, but is not going to kill yet. Norsen on the board, though. He's going to have to put in a lot of work. Ken's going to have to put in a lot of work to make this comeback, but we've seen him do it against Chucky. I don't see any reason why he can't do it versus Mugen. Yeah. Kalen just keeps getting locked into shield, it feels like.
So I wanted to point out something just real quick. He did a pivot cancel, and I really just like that. This is something Esam ended up talking a while ago, is that a lot of people don't utilize the pivot cancel, and because he actually gave him time to essentially jump out of it, that's how he ended up catching one the other backswing. And I really, really like that.
Yeah, it's really impressive, like, the control both these guys have over their characters. I feel like a lot of people are like, Ultimate's such like a movement, not heavy game, especially like coming from Smash 4, but I feel like a lot of people just haven't investigated the full potential of some mechanics like pivot canceling.
The up airs.
One thing I'd like to see Kalen do a bit better is it feels like he keeps getting locked into shield. And Joker, not a character with like fast get off me out of shield options.
He does have back air, does scoop it out of the way, but the problem is it's just a one-sided way to go. So if you're just not ready for that angle, you really just have to drop shield and respect whatever's going on, or the pressure your opponent is throwing out.
Yeah, exactly. You can't really get locked into shield in this matchup, especially versus Roy. He's just gonna eat you up for it. Kalen doing a better job of microspacing around Mugen's hitboxes though, not getting locked into shield, but instead contesting them. I love the way that Kalen's just threatening off stage, like just jumping out and then jumping back in. Kalen is a way more ledge trap heavy than Omega, but making it look like it's not that big of an issue. And oh, what a good drift out from Mugen, pixels away from dying there, but knowing just how far he can go out and still make it back.
Going coast to coast with that, drag down smash. Not going to be able to do it, especially when down smash is not one of the stronger kill options that he has.
Yeah, Kalen, what a brave get-up attack. I feel like get-up attack at any percent versus Roy could end in a lost stock, but Kalen getting away with it there, just knowing that Mugen's not going to be ready for it.
Just brave options, right? 49. Let's hope that he can actually use the persona to, take out the stock and re-even this out.
Yeah, I think there's something there because you've got to be brave to beat Mugen. If you play too passive, he's just going to run all over you. He'll lock you in shield, then he'll poke you, and then he'll catch on all your habits. But if you meet him head-to-head, you've got a better shot because he's going to have to respect what you're doing a bit more.
Trying to take the jab.
Oh, Mugen.
Successful.
Not a beat, but
jab to forward air. 80%. that whiff grab.
Both these players playing so fast. It's definitely a faster pace than last set.
Absolutely. And I don't think that Kalen's, right there able to match up, but hopefully he can prove me wrong.
Yeah, no, Kalen's starting to look like he can do it. But that's going to be another jab back air. But
Doing it in center stage, not enough.
Mugen chasing off stage, that's what he's known for best, I feel like. Chasing off stage, always trying to kill you. But he was holding out on that, I think. Bad DI is going to give Kalen the lead here, and now Arsene's out. Beautiful turnaround grab by Kalen. Mugen rarely shields, but knowing when he's going to is one of the keys to beating
Calling
Kalen.
out his jump, he does not have a jump.
Yeah,
that is it.
We're heading to game 3.
We get the signal for the run back.
It's so hard versus either of these players, dude. It feels like you make 2 bad decisions and you die for it. Especially because both these characters' recoveries are so exploitable sometimes.
Absolutely.
Kalen playing a bit faster. I want to see what adaptations Mugen makes.
He capitalized on everything that he could with that Arsene. Now we're going into game 3.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to forget about the last game, especially if you're really dying to Arsene that early. You got to be like, okay, that just isn't going to happen next game. I won't let it happen anymore. Move on.
Starting with some Nair planes.
Yeah. I don't think Mugen's pressed a button other than Nair in the first 10 seconds of this game.
Such a good move. Nice dish joint, carries, combos, does your taxes.
Shield pokes.
Absolutely.
Babysits.
That's the crazy part. It does babysit.
Oh,
Getting
using
the
a
jab
gun
back
dash to get
air.
onto stage, but Mugen's ledge pressure is so good. It's definitely on the caliber of any other top player out there, especially because Roy can kill you at almost any percent for choosing a bad lead option. And catching the roll in, and he nearly got the drag down up air up smash. Kalen's conversions are so on point tonight, it's just barely not hitting.
Getting, my 2 cents is I think he get a little greedy. I think he needs to, take what he got. I think he tried to do a way to do the drag down, but that drag down would have only, really locked him in. And with having Arsene and having up smash, it covers almost the entirety of the PS2 platform. So, it has to, my mind is wondering why he ended up letting that happen, because right now that it pretty much just cost him the first stock, which is such a big momentum swing.
Yeah, he could be up his stock, but instead he's down. And especially against Roy at 0, you got to make sure you don't get nared here. Yep. Mugen, these short hop aerials coming out. If you get hit by any one of those, you get at least 40. But Kalen calling out that nair from ledge. Mugen loves going for it so much. And now we have an even game.
2020.
Oh! Mugen going for the run-up grab, but Kalen one step ahead, just short hopping over it. Kalen not getting too much off of it, though. I'd say that the one thing between these two, it feels like Mugen, on average, is just getting a little bit more from his advantage states.
Absolutely.
It feels like Kalen's winning neutral more, but that doesn't matter if you're getting less for it than your opponent.
Absolutely. Just a punish versus neutral game situation.
Yeah, these short hops starting to hit again. Kalen trying to start his pressure with these short hop bears and nairs, but Mugen just stuffing them out.
And the nair into up tilt, taking it at 120.
No way that hit. And, oh, Kalen in trouble here. He's in the corner versus Roy. But what a good counter, knowing that Mugen's just going to keep mashing those aerials.
Getting Arsene a little earlier, about 10%. But everything matters, especially when you're this far down.
Yeah, and he gets the drag down this time, and we caught another solid last stock coming up.
Unfortunately, the star KO running a fourth of his meter. We're actually pretty much at half.
Yeah, but if he gets a hit right here, it may not matter. Joker's so adept at killing at 0 off of one grab. But, oh no, that could have been the start of something, but he just misses the drift on the up B. Mugen's drifting right behind him. Kalen's going to have to get something started with no Arsene, but he keeps missing the turn on grabs. And
unfortunate, just going to be eating a double roll away.
Yeah, missing the tech there. Mugen just ready for it, ripping the immediate side B, and that's the set. Really good showing from Kalen tonight, though.
Good showing from Kalen. That is going to be fourth tonight. It's
Yeah.
going to be Jazzo versus Mugen for top 3.
It's hard to be disappointed if you're Kalen and how you played tonight. I feel like he played really well. It's just the players here are such like top tier caliber. it's difficult to make it work sometimes.
It's hard to ever say that whenever you lose, especially when you're getting this far in, it's a bad loss.
Yeah, like, oh no, I lost to the dude that got 9th at Glitch. Like, it's hard to be too angry about it. I think this is going to be interesting because I feel like Jazzo and Kalen are low-key like similar in a lot of ways in how they play. I feel like they're both like more patient, they wait for their opportunities, but they're still willing to interact when they have to. Like when they think that they've got a read on what the opponent's doing, when they think they've got a read on the tempo, then they'll interact, but until they get that, until they see something that they like, they'll pass on like opportunities.
Absolutely, no. Mugen out here, I mean, I'll say this. We're going to see a passive versus aggressive playstyle. When it's Mugen wants to make the opportunities, Jazzo wants to let them come to him. And so I think one of the biggest things that we're going to see is this match, it will go by fast because Mugen's going to throw himself at Jazzo. The reality of the situation is he's going to do it in the right ways where he ends up, coming out on top.
Yeah. Shoto's, Ken in particular, another character with bad out-of-shield options. And that really hurts versus Roy. Because if Roy can mash on your shield, and if, like, for a shield-heavy player like Jazzo, that could be a really big issue. Roy, on the other hand, having that up B, so good for breaking Shoto's pressure, because if Jazzo wants to do something like mash down tilt on shield, Mugen can just up B it, and now you don't have pressure any longer.
It eats focus as well, which is also just a nice little add-on. Has armor. Honestly, overall, the up special that they have, ironically enough, has the fire up special. Seems to counter the Ken pretty well.
Yeah.
Trying to go for a counter there, right there, but Jazzo just going to the ledge by air dodging. I think Jazzo, obviously somebody of his experience, his caliber, grinding on the Wi-Fi and stuff like that, we end up seeing that he's very comfortable about how he wants to make his recovery options.
Yeah, Jazzo also very aware of how Roy's going to try and edge guard him after playing against Pilla and Mugen for this long, knowing that Mugen's going to expect an up B there, and instead just air dodging the ledge. That's a really good
up special
though. Yeah.
Dying by his own tools, basically.
Shoto's love landing with focus, and Mugen's not going to let them, at least not when he can just react with up B. Oh, that was a really good mix-up. I think Mugen tried to up B there, but Jazzo instead just did a Tatsu to call out the up B to interrupt it and continue his pressure pattern. Love to see the adaptation. Mugen trying to kill him here, but he burned his double jump too early, trying to cover high. But
somehow getting clipped by the get-up attack?
Yeah, I don't know how that works. But Jazzo going to live somehow because Mugen got a dash attack in that situation. It's unfortunate, but Jazzo with a second chance at the stock. Let's see what he can do with it. I think he's going to take it right here. This should be 2 stocks to 1 in favor of Mugen, but instead it's the other way around. Jazzo trying to make the most of the stock. Mugen knows how vital it is that he takes the stock as soon as possible. Showed us with rage, but we've gotten even last stock here.
Hell Wheel throwing him back.
Yeah, Jazzo in the corner and just not ready for the Nair from ledge, I guess. He did get a reversal, but it's not going to hurt him too much. Yeah, and Mugen just going for that Nair from ledge yet again. He loves that option so much, but Jazzo hasn't been doing anything about it. He's just letting him, so Mugen's just going to keep getting away with it.
Just jumping over it, all of his shield pressure.
Going for Jab Smash there, but I think Jab back here would have taken it. Mugen maybe getting a bit greedy.
Greedy is Mugen's middle name.
Oh, but now you can't lose neutral here. I think down tilt Shuri is going to kill Mugen, knowing that, saying, get off my shield, please. And he's trying to kill him right here so desperately.
He's going to be doing his own DP right back at him out of shield. He's going to be sealing him out for game 1. Jazzo not really respecting that option as much as he should be. I mean, the spacing that he has on his down tilt allowed him to get caught and do the variation that goes the highest. I'm not sure if, the long variation would have killed it, going into the other side. That's all the DI dependent, stuff like that. But when you get, shorted all the way up there, well above the second platform, it's not surprised that it kills.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like if Jazzo didn't get hit by one of those Roy DPs out of shield, he wins it. But he's been getting hit by so many of them. It's He's got to realize that if Mugen misses that DP, he's eating at least 40. All right, Mugen at ledge. Jazo with first blood, sort of.
Taking a down tilt.
Feels like Mugen's just playing like slightly more precisely. I don't know, it feels like he's playing outside of Jazo's range slightly better. Not going for Nair from ledge there, but instead going for the air dodge, throwing in the mix-up before Jazo even adapts to the first option. Always a step ahead.
Or you're not going to be catching him. Going for a roll, untraditional, unconventional from him. Same thing with that up smash.
Yeah, oh, that's a dare, but really good DI. But it's not going to matter. That's a really good parry on that jab, and Jazo's going to take the first stock here.
Accepting the fate.
Yeah, Jazo focus canceling in instead of out, and an error that small is going to be the first stock. Trying to box with Roy in the air. Not a wise decision a lot of the time. Oh, catching the roll away. Jazo's got something here. 77 at least. And parrying both hits of the Nair. Jazo catching on. And I think this is Mugen's problem. When he loses, it's because he's getting too greedy for reversals. It's because he wants something to happen too much.
And he broke his shield.
Yeah, Mugen just, I don't know, he's going for like these bad aerials off of ledge, and Jazo's just ready. I think Mugen has to get more creative about how he wins neutral. Go for a grab or two. But even those aren't working.
You mentioned last game that he was allowing him, come on with those aerials, and now he's just not respecting that situation that's going on.
Yeah, I think Jazo's really focusing on parrying right now. Jazo's parry is probably the best in Georgia, but Mugen needs to adapt to that. Maybe go for some tomahawks, maybe some run-up grabs, but it's really difficult versus Shota's because if you guess wrong, you're eating so much.
Unable to get the extension just because of the way that Roy flinched, ducking under the up tilt.
Yeah, Jazo's also catching on to these rollaways. It feels like he's chasing every single one of them. And that focus cancel going to get him out of there. Doesn't matter though.
Bringing it to 1-1, but 90%, I mean just one DP.
Yeah, but also one Nair from Mugen. Mugen, one of the most explosive players in Georgia. His advantage state is so good. One Nair could literally be it. But, oh my god, Jazo getting the Nair hitbox that would have confirmed into short, even a bit late on it.
But hey, that's it right there. Is it Mugen or Mugen, or is it just an accent situation?
I don't think it matters.
I mean, I'm just wondering. 1-1 right now.
Yeah, I think Mugen's just going to have to play a bit more patient. Mugen really struggling to play patient until he's really forced to. I know that's not how he likes to play the game, but Jazo may be forcing him to.
Heading into a game 3.
Yeah, see, Jazo just waiting on the platform, being a bit more patient than Mugen. Mugen being first, and he eats 50 for it.
57. Jazo really
Is this
just
the
chopping
stock?
up.
No, he doesn't get. He gets medium short instead of strong, and not the strong hit either. But that's already the first stock. Jazo's running away with the set right now. Mugen's got to come up with something fast.
I think Mugen needs to calm down a little bit. He's just getting a little too ahead of himself, throwing out things that he really doesn't need to be. And then Jazo just sitting there.
Yeah, see, he's holding in yet again. Mugen needs to run back sometimes. See, he's going for another bad Nair from ledge. Jazo just has it scouted.
Nope, not going to be hitting that focus stack, but going to be hit by another DP, which is just going to send him away.
Only 50% on him this entire game. It's been 50 seconds. Mugen needs to figure out something different here. What he's doing right now is obviously not working.
He does have one more game to play with, but it's not really something that you want to do.
Yeah, especially against Shotos. Feels like even if you're outplaying them the entire game, all they need is that one good hit. Wouldn't want to be down 2 games to 1 versus this Shoto.
Absolutely not.
And oh, this is another hit, calling out the air dodge. Jazo's chases have been so good. Feels like Mugen's just freaking out, going for bad reversals.
And that is going to seal it out for game 3. Jazo up his first one.
Yeah, and that was a 3-stock too. It looked like Mugen didn't have much to show for it. And looks like Vivid is what is known as a bro fist. power up Jaws possibly.
Trying to pass the one tails. I know that he had the one tail tag going on. You got the Naruto Uzumaki shirt. I know he's the 9 tails.
Yeah, I have no clue what moves it's saying, but
No
car
mid-
chasing off pivot.
No,
Jazzo.
Jazzo. Unsure, but Card stepping in saying no mid-set coaching.
He's gonna jump. I
The
didn't say
Georgia
anything.
Classic.
I didn't say anything.
Give him a back row while we're at it.
Mugen holding it again. It's not working out still. I think Mugen just may be tired of playing this game at this point, dude. Yeah, but you see, he's facing the Nair on shield now. He's going for weak Nair on shield instead of strong Nair. And it may not look like that much of a difference, but it really does make a big difference. It shows that Jaws is trying to, Mugen's trying to play a bit more patient. Jazzo finally missing a parry. He's going to eat all of these up airs for it. But, oh, no. I don't know what that F tilt was. That was definitely
Again, just
not
as we
correct.
mentioned, Mugen getting ahead of himself. Just throwing out aerial after aerial and then not, confirming the hits. Just eating up raw focus.
Yeah, it feels like Jazzo's parry timings have been what's been really screwing with Mugen. It's just, if you're playing Roy, but your opponent's parrying every single aerial, what are you supposed to do?
No, there's a very specific kind of interaction that I feel like might be going on here, and that's when it comes to that tilt situation. When you parry, you essentially make the move -3 more, and so it ends up happening on top of that. When you see the F tilt, the way it swings, it arcs over, and then when you down tilt, you actually crouch down. I wonder if this is how much it's really messing up with Mugen, because the frame data is now, not what he's used to. He's now having to deal with an opponent that's crouching, because if you've seen some situations, if you see Joker back air like a Palu shield, if he's facing the proper way, he can actually properly do it and not get shield grab. I wonder if we're seeing something similar here.
Yeah, Mugen maybe just slightly unfamiliar with this matchup. I know there aren't that many shows out here, and all we have here is Jazzo and Vendetta, really, and Vendetta doesn't ever go to anything. Jazzo going for light Shoryu there because he knows that strong isn't going to hit. He's playing out of his mind right now.
Forward air. Getting focused. Jazzo really just feeling himself in this situation.
Jazzo just playing so careful, not throwing out any bad moves. He's just dashing back and forth, maybe jumping in with a blob nair sometimes. And
Trying to go for the read and roll.
yeah, this is such an uphill battle for Mugen if he wants to win this set. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to do it, but that would have been a start if he's able to get the strong hit of that jab. He's going to need to get the kill on the sledge here if he wants to win this. But calling out the double jump, that should be it. Jazzo nearly escaping, playing a bit of Houdini there, but Mugen has a chance here.
Number 5.
That was a bad fair, and that DP's going to take it.
That was an up air.
Yeah, he whiff punished an up air with Shoryu. That's just -3 on a whiff. I'm not sure how he did that, but Jazzo only having to be.
That was a good read. Whatever.
Yeah.
Hurt box shifting, maybe one of those things.
But now we got Omega coming in here with a fresh haircut.
Always a cleanest boy in the venue.
Yeah. Omega's going to. Omega's in winners, by the way. But yeah, Omega definitely wanting to take the shockwave. I know it's rare to get to this situation just because of how hard these tournaments are. He's gonna do his
Jazzo
best.
aiming for the reset. Let's see if he can do it.
Yeah, Jazzo with something to prove here, as we were talking about earlier, wanting to prove himself on that top tier of Shotos, along with Takara, Vendetta, and Andres.
I will say, if you saw Takara actually throwing some stuff at Omega for a set that happened 2 years ago.
Yeah, that was Tarek actually.
Oh, must have been getting the names.
That's
I
Kazuya.
apologize about that then.
Yeah, no, don't worry. But yeah. The other Joker in this region, Kalen, often struggles with Shotos, but I'm not sure if Omega has those same reservations, those same issues. maybe a bit difficult for Jazzo here, especially because Omega, as we saw in that winner set, has such a good read on a lot of what Jazzo's going to do. Okay, but it's Jazzo with the first opportunity here, but Omega just playing this so much braver, calling out the dash away, something Mugen wasn't doing.
Back air.
Omega's plat pressure is so pretty. It's always impossible to like reversal Omega for doing it. I feel like Jazzo's getting a lot of mileage off of like reversaling Mugen, especially for his unsafe platform pressure, but
Jazzo saying just run it right back, just make it an even game.
yeah, Jazzo keeping up so far. Feels like Jazzo's been playing at like a faster tempo, even though he's been playing like as patient as he normally does. Feels like he's been keeping up better with the tempos of Mugen and Omega.
You know, he is coming hot off a loser. That isn't a really big factor. More often than not, if we see this specific format, there is a stat out there. Now, I haven't seen it in a while. This is back in 2018. When you come hot off a loser, typically you actually get the reset. And when you win the reset, then you're more likely to win everything. And Jazzo just really coming out pretty hot. Unfortunate that getting the Tatsu the wrong direction.
Yeah, he didn't want the Tatsu, but Omega didn't get the bear, but it's not going to matter. Omega just chasing him off stage so well. I feel like sometimes with Shoto's Joker, it's impossible if Joker has Arsene to get back.
Up smash out of shield, very rare. Again, just saying I want this to be even as possible. Last off now.
Yeah, makings of a good set right here. Neither player getting the upper hand. I think whoever gets momentum here first, whoever wins this first game is going to have momentum going into the second one, and that's going to be so vital in a set like this. Especially because if Shotos get momentum, it's so scary.
Getting it down to 60. Arsene is out.
Yeah, Omega with the chance to make up everything that he's lost so far. Make up like this 50% deficit, but there's the grab. That could be the start of something. But Jazzo just drifting away to the plat. So good. Shoto back air. It's so rare to see Ken back air, but Jazzo abusing that move. Secretly a top tier bear in this game, but no one ever gets to see it.
Yeah, it's unfortunate due to the turnaround. Kind of curious about how much more of a threat that they would be if they had access to that to throw out a neutral.
Oh
that was
my
a Smash
God.
4 favorite.
That run back up smash was so good, and he's going to do it out of shield yet again and take game one. Jazzo's corner pressure is looking so good right now. He's just pushing his opponent in the corner, and then every time that they try and jump out or something, he just reacts, dashes back, and gets the punish for it.
It was so nice. He did it twice. Now, this is something that we didn't see at all during their initial set of the up smash out of shield. I definitely like it a lot more. The other thing as well, again, I have to mention this every time because it actually is something that's important that people don't think about too much. But that hurt box shifting actually giving him a lot because he crouches very low during the up smash animation.
He sort of dodges, so like if Omega's trying to land with something like fair one, he may dodge under it and then get the punish anyways. Omega with first blood in this game too though, but DI up, tricking Omega, and that's going to be a stock at literally 0 just because Jazzo DI'd up on that dash attack and Omega wasn't ready, not getting the follow up, and Jazzo's got so much momentum heading into this big head of steam. It's another whiffed grab. People forget that Joker Nair has 2 hits a lot of the time. I feel like Jokers get away with that when they often shouldn't a lot of the time, but it's just so hard to... Oh my God.
And just doing a double DP?
Okay, Jazzo's playing incredible right now.
Absolutely. I think that the rawness of it, Omega's very caught off guard. This is not Jazzo's tempo. But
Yeah, this isn't the Jazzo that he fought in winners. This is a different beast entirely. Jazzo
Absolutely.
wants it so bad, you can tell.
But he's not going to have to do it once, but twice.
Yeah, Omega's starting to hard SDI in on these conversions, but Jazzo's just ready. I feel like usually Jazzo would get mixed up by that, but not tonight. He's just reacting and hitting them with the medium shoryus instead of the full shoryu anyways.
No, he wants to be really careful that even though that back air isn't a multi-hit, I'm not mistaken, that move can break focus by itself without no additional assistance.
Yeah, I think Jazzo knows that though, and I think if he gets hit by that, it's going to be because Omega outplayed him. Jazzo's a veteran of this matchup,
Arsene gone.
but Omega has something to say about that. Oh my God, he nearly got Omega dragged down.
Getting back aired. I keep seeing that where he just goes for a double back air once to get rid of the focus.
Checkmate.
The other one, yep, exactly.
Yeah. And now Omega's brought this game back somehow, despite what the first 2 stocks looked like. Feels like Jazza hasn't won neutral in a hot minute.
Nope, that was the raw DP. I mean, the fire DP would have been it.
Yeah, that would have been a crazy conversion to take it, but this is also going to take it. And Jazzo up 2 on this first set. Omega's got to be happy that he has one set to play with. Another thing to mention is that both these sets count for PR, so even if Jazzo wins the set and then loses the next one, it still counts as a PR win versus Omega.
I mean, I don't think he'll be happy with that. I think he wants to take it all the way home.
Yeah.
He's busting out the Steve.
This is disgusting. I mean, Omega, Steve, he's been working on it for like the past few weeks, ever since Glitch. It's way better than you'd expect, I'm not gonna lie. You see, already getting that 40%, nearly getting even more off of that. Yesterday, I was at Flashback, he was practicing his no impact landing combos, so kind of curious to see if he's gonna have those conversions.
I mean, so far what we're seeing right now, I mean, it's a complete tempo shift, so I'm not surprised that Jazzo a little caught off guard.
Yeah, I think Omega's reasoning here is what do you do against a player that parries everything? Play a character whose moves are all safe on parry.
Absolutely. Gonna be throwing out Minecart Wahara 138. I want to know how comfortable Jazzo is with this matchup. Up tilt to back.
That up tilt back hit. Why did that hit? I know Jazzo jumped, but that combo works for so long. This is a complete tempo shift. I think Jazzo's really caught off guard by it. And even if Omega ends up going Joker the next set, I feel like this tempo shift's going to give him a much better shot than if he just went Joker this game also.
Do the big brain thing where you keep swatching characters, so that way they're never familiar with what you're doing.
Yeah,
Always.
the DD Classic.
Yep, absolutely.
And Omega Nesguying out for the first time, but he's getting too greedy with those reversals. I think he should just back off there instead of challenging Ken Shield and then just getting DP'd once again.
Again, I mean, we've just been seeing this where Jazzo's not afraid to do something twice, and it's just, you know, I say this a million times and I'll say it again, this is very uncharacteristic. I like this evolution that we're seeing from him.
Yeah. Feels like Jazzo is definitely a very formulaic player a lot of the time, but he's been coming up with new answers to everything anyone's thrown at him this set. His adaptation's definitely been on point today. Jazzo's starting to bring this one back. Feels like these minecarts aren't working. He's just dashing back every time that Omega minecart's just giving him the space and then jumping back in. It's working out so well for him.
Unable to get the final hit, not getting the kill. Darren just barely missing.
Oh, he almost had that roll scouted, but he decided to go for neutral get up, or to cover the neutral get up at the last second. And now Omega's gonna be coming into this up a stock, and he has Diamond in the back.
Stock don't matter when it's gone.
Yeah, but Omega's got Diamond now. Steve with Diamond is basically a Shoto.
That's a statement. You know, that is a statement.
I'm not wrong on this one, I swear, I swear.
No, you're not, and I
watch.
hate it.
Oh my god, he got a nair and then he ran off the block with a volley up there. That's insane. Oh, Omega catching the double jump though. And yeah, that's gonna be it. Omega Steve doing what his Joker couldn't, taking a game off of Jazzo. Running back to PS2.
Enderman.
So, no way the Steve reverse 3-0s, right?
No, man.
No way.
You want to do a money match on this? You want to bet? I'm here rooting hard for Jazzo. Just, you know, I love his, you know, enthusiasm for the game. You know, he really is just being himself on Twitter. As much as we can make fun of him for being, you know, an anime pro tag, I mean, I'm downright jealous that somebody of his age has had the confidence to be himself. And I want him to see him succeed. I'm very much in Jazzo's corner.
Yeah, as much as we joke about it being an anime pro tag, it would actually be a shame if he stopped. That'd be so sad. I love what Jazz is doing though, focusing the blocks and then canceling it afterwards. That's a really creative way of breaking blocks, and Steve's not going to be able to punish him for doing it. Oh my god, Omega
He'll
beating
just
him
punish him
up,
for
though.
everything else, though.
Yeah.
Minecart's such a difficult thing to deal with.
Now, whenever Omega has someone on the ledge with Steve, he pretends that he's Joker for like 5 seconds and mashes back air until they either die or get off of ledge. I think it's so funny.
I don't know what happened there. Did he just not get hit at all?
He focused through the TNT.
I'm very surprised that he's able to do that. That's just not an interaction that I would have assumed that would have worked.
I'm surprised too, but Omega trying to grab an invincible Jazzo there. It's not going to be possible, but first Diamond's already out. Yeah, and I feel like Shoto's jump in is just too slow to get over blocks like that. He's already at 84, 99. And
I mean, that seems to be the weakness of the Shoto recovery is that when they focus there, they always use it for the cancel momentum, and then you just hit them during that because they are unable to act out.
yeah, I feel like usually when Omega's beating Jazzo, it's because he's catching Jazzo's recovery almost every time. We're starting to see that in this game 4. Omega really catching on to how Jazzo likes to recover and just covering all options, checkmating him at every step.
Back air doing a lot of work for him.
What a brave uppy on the stage, but
Able to fully
Omega,
connect. Only
feels-
54.
even when Omega gets the reversal, it feels like he's not getting that much off of it.
No, it's just that his hits aren't like, I'm talking about Enderman, Steve, whatever. Their hits just aren't meaty. You know, you look at the, he hits him 6-7 times and all of a sudden it's like 80% and I don't just so lost.
Yeah,
Getting
and-
the double
oh my
spike!
god, that killed?
Ooh.
That killed? All right, Jazzo getting the first set. A little pop-off from him. He's only got one more to go. Running it back to stadium. I'm not sure if we're going to see the Steve anymore. Oh, we
Still
are.
throwing it out.
Omega feeling like it's got a better chance than the Joker.
I mean, now he has another, fresh slate to play with, so he has another 3 games that he can do whatever he wants. Maybe he wants to see how this goes.
Something I find really interesting is that Omega's told me that this isn't how he wants to play the game. He feels like Steve goes against the reason why he plays the game. So the fact that Jazzo has forced Omega to go against his ideals in a sense and abandon the main that he enjoys playing shows just how much he wants to win this.
It's for the PR, it's for the people, it's for the money, it's for the fame.
Yeah, it's been a long while since Omega's won a 404, I think. I think the last time he did it, he had to beat Cola. Card King fact check me on that if I'm wrong.
He did not win over Cola.
Huh? Oh yeah, he took a set, right? Yeah. Yeah, he took a set over Cola, but I don't know the last time that Omega's won a shock or won a 404.
That didn't kill. We saw him all the way in the corner. With just a handful of pixels. Had he air dodged on something funny where he would have pulled him, would have been it. Such a strong setup.
Oh no, and that's gonna be another 50. Jazzo's now the one getting fishy, or getting hungry for reversals. Maybe feeling a little bit desperate.
He has not won a 404 since December 10th.
Yeah, it was over Blue Jay.
It was over Blue Jay.
Man, so this is big for Omega also. It's been a while. Both these guys won it really bad.
Somebody with something to prove, somebody trying to repeat his history.
And Diamond S Smash breaking through focus. Finally calling out Jazzo's focuses on breaking those blocks. I didn't even know Steve had a way to call it out.
Nice. Seeing a little bit of sign of life for this game.
Oh, that was a beautiful empty land. Not throwing out a hitbox like he would normally, making it impossible for Omega to parry a hit that's not there. And he's getting a lot for it, but that jab out of shield, the aerial jab, so fast. Josh is starting to get away with jumping over blocks, which I find really interesting. He wasn't able to get away with it earlier, but he's now calling out when Omega's buying and when he's getting caught with his pants down.
Notice that Omega was trying to, bait out the focus to do the, Diamond S Smash that was he did earlier. But Jazzo's saying that he doesn't want that to happen again. Another Diamond on deck for the next stock in case he takes it.
Yeah. Omega with a ledge trap situation. And,
See, focus broke there.
I think he may have been trying to cancel it at that moment.
Who knows?
I don't
I'm just trying to
No.
figure out how this interaction works because I was very surprised either that he didn't get hit even though it looked like it, which either implies that, just the animation's false or the, what's the word I'm trying to say? The
just
focus, focus didn't break, but in that situation, he either canceled it or got hit by it. Still very confused, still lost. We're going to be going to FD. I do not think this is the move. I do believe that this favors Steve more than anybody else. Just because you end up putting the platform, you can no longer rest on a platform and delay your interaction about what's going to happen.
Yeah, the thing about Shotos is that they're always going to take you to FD if given the chance. Like, this is just a universal thing. Every Shoto will do this, and I think it's because they feel like their plat pressure is like non-existent with this character. So by taking out the equation to plats, they feel like the opponent has to fight them, but I'm not sure if Steve really has to fight you.
Taking the jabs.
Yeah, already at 90. I just don't know how the Shotos are supposed to deal with Steve camping, really. Because it feels like you just have to play so much more patient, so much more precise than them. Oh, that's a really bad back air, though. Oh, Omega lucky it didn't kill. And barely late on chasing that air dodge away.
Taking a full focus.
I feel like the story of the set has just been both players going for dubious reversals. Like, they stop getting hit, they fall out, and then they're like, oh, it's my turn now, but it's not. They just got to wait their turn a bit longer.
I respect that word dubious. That's very accurate. Hitting that. Jazzo does have the lead. Let's make a note on that, even though it is 130.
Yeah. See, and he went for another reversal there instead of backing off, letting Jazzo mash in thin air. And, oh, Jazzo's going to start running away with this right here. That 32 is nice to have, but this, at least 70 is going to be even nicer. Yeah, Steve doesn't have that many resources. Up throw not going to kill. He's not going to have that much time to get that many more resources, though. And Omega completely out of resources on ledge. This is very likely to be a stock. Yeah, desperate get up attack. Oh my god, in the SDI in once again. I think Jazzo's got to do like medium short you there, turn it around, either one, to catch the SDI in, but Omega's been able to get away with it the past few games. So Jazzo possibly tiring.
Just avoiding and staking through everything. Jazzo with a 2-stock lead, sitting at 172. Omega getting impatient.
Yeah, I feel like Omega really knows that he needs the stock. That's finally going to do it, but he doesn't have resources. No diamond, no gold, barely any iron. And now he's getting hit by Ken once again. It's got to feel desperate.
46. Get up attack, getting him off.
Yeah, I don't like the decision by Omega there. He gets his hit, but instead of getting resources, which he desperately needs, barely any iron, he just tries to interact again and dies for it at 50.
And I will say, we made the comment we're going to FD. We did break the PS2 curse. I believe that's the first game of these 2-round set that we saw not on PS2. They are actually considering bans. This is very, very serious.
Yeah, when you see a Georgia player banning stages, that's how you know that the stakes are high. I'm shocked Jazzo hasn't tried this sooner, though. If people are letting Shotos go to FD.
I always ban it. I hate that stage.
Yeah, but we're seeing Stadium once again. Omega just trying to win this on the stage where he feels most comfortable. We're seeing the Steve once again.
Curious as to what stages Jazzo ended up banning that ended up leading Omega to pick the stage.
Bro, the Mario Kart DLC looks so good. Anyways, back to the game.
I got into it. I paid $10 to join a family plan. I'm very happy about that. So now I don't have to go buy it myself, and I got online once again. Yeah. I'm actually going to start grinding online again because I've been very much enjoying getting back into this game, so we'll see.
Yeah, as soon as I get home, the first thing I'm doing is checking out the new Mario Kart DLC.
Absolutely. But to this game, we're on game 3. Jazzo leading.
And that's another stock. Omega trying to get away with the SDI in there, but just not SDIing hard enough. I don't know if this is working anymore. It may be downloaded.
I think what I'm seeing is Omega trying to play Joker in Steve, and it's not working. He's trying to make decisions that he normally really wouldn't, or what he shouldn't be doing.
The playstyle isn't right. Omega's not like a born Steve main, feels like. But I mean, not being a born Steve means that you can come up with ideas like that. I don't think any other Steve would have gone for like an edge guard there. Most of them would just be content to like sit there and down tilt until Jazza gets to like 160, but Omega wanting the stock right away.
Omega hungry always for stocks.
Yeah. Omega is still not with that many resources, but he's still trying to brawl. This is just what's been costing him these games so far. He's only got 1 iron, but watch, he's going to try to keep playing the game.
Throwing, getting eaten by that anvil.
All right, maybe Omega made me eat my words. He's been looking much better this game. And I don't think it's due to any like game plan change. I think he's just boxing better. Feels like he's being slightly more precise, maybe focusing a bit more on his boxing. And
Jazza thought he was going to come in with an aggressive option. That's what he's been doing.
Yeah, I love the adaptation, but God, it's funny to just watch Steve run away from Ken like that. 64 already.
Getting hit by the ladder.
Also needs to get down. Maybe that was an opportunity there. Omega SDIing out though. Oh, this game is so important. I wouldn't want to, if I were either of these guys, I wouldn't have to lose this game and then win the next 2. Especially against either of these characters. It's so frustrating because one wrong move and that could be the set. Feels like Jaws is playing a bit more patient though. He's just letting Omega throw out these hitboxes and then just dashing away. But he's got Steve in the corner, not that it's going to matter any. And now we've got Steve on ledge. But what a parry. This could be it. And he gets the down air as a chase.
Oh my God, Jazzo.
I didn't think he had an extension there, but Jazzo proving me wrong, and he's going to take this essential game 3. Now it's Omega that has to win 2 against this Ken that looks like he's on fire right now.
Does he stay with the Steve though?
I don't think so, and yeah, we're seeing the Joker. Omega knows that he needs to bring out the big guns to win this set. Steve's just not going to cut it anymore. Back to PS2. I'm kind of curious to see if playing Steve for so many games is going to mess up Omega's Joker in any way. I feel like those 2 characters just feel so like polar opposite of each other.
I mean, in a way that can actually help. You know, Mango has mentioned that when he plays Fox and Falco, that it's such a problem swapping back because they're so similar characters yet so different. So when you really are playing here, it's like you play just 2 polar opposite characters, 2 different play styles. I do think that he, you know, as mentioned, he's playing Steve like he would play a Joker. You know,
yeah.
Was the whole time he was really just still playing Joker in his head.
Yeah, it's like the celery that comes with the wings. It's the palate refresher.
Absolutely.
But how Jazza taking the first stock once again, I think Omega's tilted, dude.
And it's unfortunate. I think one of the biggest issues that we see among a lot of our top level players is that they have a very big mental block and they need to be able to swallow a lot about what's going on, absorb the knowledge that's going on, and keep moving forward. It's real hard. I get it and I understand. And, you know, I myself get tilted.
Yeah, but you have to power through.
Exactly. We're here at a, you know, game 4. This is for everything. You can't just let yourself, you know, get upset about it.
But this is going to be the first stock right here. Maybe finally getting the stock is going to give him, I guess, some sort of relief. You see him taking a deep breath in the playergram.
Absolutely.
Also, Jazzo, this close to winning, maybe starting to feel the nerves, maybe starting to feel the possibility of actually winning a 404, may start to get to him.
Turning nerves all around. It doesn't matter whether you're an O2er or you're up here in grand finals, turning nerves impact all of us.
This game's 20% physical, 80% mental.
Absolutely.
And whoever's got the stronger mental coming into these last 1 or 2 games is going to be the one that takes the tournament.
Taking the down air up smash.
Yeah, Joe's starting to feel it really back in his chair a little bit. I think the pace of like playing against Steve and Joker, it's like you need such different game plans. It may be hard for Josh to just swap between the 2, but that's soft fair is going to be the start of something.
Back air. About to get lapped in percent, just did.
Yeah, no percent online, but that doesn't look like it matters right now.
3DF smash.
Unless he can get a conversion here, but such strong SDI in by Omega. Omega SDIing like this is the most important set of his life, dude.
not going to be it.
Beautiful
112.
DIing straight towards the corner. Any other DI except for that, I think, would have gotten killed.
Unfortunate, just reset. But hey, we're here at 113.
Okay, 113.
I've seen Jazzo win these.
Yeah, Omega can't mess up from this point forward. Jazzo, really clutch player sometimes. I know he's going to try to win this, but catching the Tatsu to ledge, and we're getting a game 10, I believe.
And we are going to just be having a reset here. This is for sure a Georgia classic.
Yeah, both these guys want it so bad.
14.
I don't think Jazzo's won a 4-4 at least since quarantine.
Card out here calling it game 14.
14.
Pretty much. 14 rounds tonight.
Jazzo going for the handshake. Omega looking confused by it. That just shows the difference between these two players. Jazzo sort of viewing this as like a final boss in like the anime arc. And Omega just viewing it as like another day in the office, sort of. Just another 404.
Taking a double parry. More parries. Jazzo re-solidifying his fortitude.
Jazzo going for an up smash out of shield really early. I'm not sure if that even confirmed us into anything this early. Maybe starting to autopilot a few options. But that Naren definitely wasn't autopiloted, and Jazzo's going to get the first opening here.
We're seeing the infamous blue man.
One thing about Omega is that his Arsene has won him so many sets that he shouldn't. I think that's going to become a factor here, especially with how bad Shota's disadvantage is. But that
takes the first stock.
Killed. Omega definitely not happy about getting hit by that. Going for a counter that Jazzo spaced around, and it's going to lose his stock so early for it.
Getting the sparks.
Oh, bad down tilt, but Jazzo just barely too late on canceling that spot dodge. Omega getting away with Berserk here. Oh, both these guys are playing so careful. Jazzo knows that he has the lead. He knows that he can play this a bit slower. But Omega not doing anything rash. Knowing that one parry could just be the stock. Omega's SDI has been so good these entire sets.
Absolutely.
Feels like he knows when to SDI and when he has to. He knows when to SDI out. It's making it so hard for Jazzo to get his kill confirms, which usually he'd get for free on most people. I thought we may have seen an air dare or something there.
That back air just being so cruel.
And that's going to be the first stock. Omega really wants this.
Bumping himself up. Halfway through Arsene.
Oh, that was such a good tomahawk. He's been landing with like fair one in situations like that, but now getting the tomahawk for 332. Oh,
the animation, no.
He doesn't get to punish the Shoryu. That could be big. Omega getting the up air, but... Oh, chasing the dash away. Jaws is starting to sense a bit of fear. He's sensing the blood in the water.
Some awkward squabbling.
Not going to kill yet.
Jazzo in the lead.
Omega trying to call out the double jump, but he's just barely off on it, but
not
he
dead.
lives.
125. Arsene about to come out. Has to make everything out of this one.
Another tomahawk. Omega's just added this into his game plan, these tomahawks. And they're keeping him in this game versus Jazzo. Otherwise, he may be getting blown up right now. And oh my god, SDIing up on that. That bit
absolute confidence knowing that wasn't going to hit.
That was off by mere pixels. And it
goes
goes through, but
the thing that we've been seeing all night.
And now Omega's up the... Oh, but the DP, and we've got a game 14 final stock, both players at 0. Who's going to take their first 404 in a long time? Is it going to be the Shota looking to prove himself on the national scale? Or is it going to be Omega looking to bounce back from a bad by his definition performance at Collision? Looking to prove to himself that he can compete with the best in this state. Omega playing this so slow, really not wanting to get hit by any confirm.
Getting back throw. Jazz's nightmare. This is not the situation you want to be in.
Oh, it's at another back here. I don't think Jazzo has options here, but Omega can't make it that far out. And now he's the one at the ledge. He parries the get up attack, but he moves like so far on that SDI. Another tomahawk. Jazzu fine with taking these tomahawks because he knows he can't die for it. But that back air,
Back here,
not going to be it yet. But Omega
seeing
should
this?
close this out right here. And
And
Omega
Omega takes it.
going to take his first 404 in a long, long time. Last time he won a 404, December 10th.
I need a headset.
Oh. Good stuff to Omega.
Thank you all for watching 4-4 Smash Night. It's 12:30. It's 12:40. I've got to go to the airport in like 4 hours. Thank you all for watching. It's been an awesome one. One for the books, for sure. Before we go to Las Vegas's new Super Major. It's a platinum event. It's a platinum event. You know. Yeah. Like, follow, subscribe, support the Georgia scene. Shoutouts to Omega for winning a 404, a pretty stacked one at that. Yeah, thank you all for watching. Have a great night. Oh, yeah, also it was Teaser and Somber King on the mic. Teaser 303 and Somber King on Twitter? It's just Somber King? Okay. Somber King on Twitter and Teaser 303 on Twitter. Thank you all.